Hi, everybody.
Are we live?
Okay.
Are we live?
We're live.
Hey.
We're live.
Lucas, are we live?
We you know what? Hold on, let me check.
Point out, like,
Lucas is just pranking us again.
Yeah, I'm just Yep, that's what's happening.
We're live?
Just,
okay.
What? Nope, definitely not live.
Oh, wait,
Nope.
this is a streamed game.
We live? Are we live? I don't know if you said you mentioned if we're live yet. Are we live?
Hi, everybody.
Doing this whole thing live.
We'll do it live.
Geek Outs in chat says that we're not live, so we're not.
Okay.
Damn it.
Because Lucas, you don't have music. If that's one of the things you want to do.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome to tonight's episode of Infinite Horizon, and as you can tell, we are in a place today. So there's a whole bunch of technology revolts happening in the background, and we've reached peak, I guess, energy. So that's where we're at.
Hump day.
Hump day, am I right? No, sorry.
That's like the best. You gotta get that laugh, otherwise it doesn't work.
And Caitlin's out. All right.
Oh man.
This is where we've gotten. So it's come to this.
God, that was
all right.
good.
Don't talk to me.
All right. Hello, everybody. We need to add like a Nightbot counter command for like Caitlin dies.
I have to remove myself from screen. Eject.
Yeah. All right. Well, welcome everyone. It's good to see you all here tonight. Tonight we continue our saga of Infinite Horizon. We have a few announcements to get through before we get started. The first of which is, for those of you who don't know, yesterday we launched the first of our two-part prologue for Into Deep, our Waterdeep Dragon Heist game. Okay, in chat yesterday, Ray made a joke about Water Heist Dragon Deep or something like that, and it fucked me up, and now I'm not sure I'm ever saying it right. So
Oh my gosh.
he said Dragon Deep Water Heist or something like that, and it fucked me up. So now thanks, Ray.
No.
Anyway.
Wait, hold on.
Now I have to think.
Yeah, now you
Waterdeep.
Yeah, it's Waterdeep Dragon Heist. I said it correctly. Anyway, it was excellent, and even with just like about a little under half of the cast there, it was amazing, and I honestly cannot wait to see all of them in the same place playing together. It's gonna be wild. It's honestly, it's very good, and I'm very excited. So, but we had the first of our two prologues yesterday, and next Tuesday we will be doing the second, and the campaign proper starts in January, second week of January. That would be January. I have to look at the calendar. I'm incapable of knowing dates without looking at a calendar now. I believe that is January 12th. So yeah, it's gonna be so fun, y'all. You should check it out. They are very good. The VOD is available right now. It will be available on YouTube before, like, both prologues will be available on YouTube before the actual premiere of the campaign in January. So you'll have, if you miss it between now and then, or understandably don't feel like watching VODs on Twitch, it will be available to watch on YouTube. Dates TBD. We're still working on a few like logistical things, but it will be there. So just keep an eye on socials and in Discord and stuff like that, and you'll know when the time comes. Let's see. What is this 2021 thing, by the way? Sounds fake. You're absolutely correct. It sounds fake. All right, as for other announcements, this week, Ramblemancy, we're doing a part 2 of our bad pitches for movies and TV.
Oh, yeah.
This time joined by one Alex Perkins, who, in case you have forgotten, was one of the entire cast of show stealers of It Came From the Loop.
For real.
So
I love
and
them.
honestly, one of the funniest people that I have ever met. So you're in for a treat, as are we all.
Sure, some monstrosities will be
Oh,
occurring.
it's gonna be rough.
Anything that Alex Perkins is ever in, you don't want to miss.
Yeah,
like,
no,
just
absolutely not.
By rule.
Yeah. So that's that'll be happening this Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, right here on this very channel. Let's see. Do we have other announcements? God, it feels like we've had so many things. Schedule stuff. As far as, oh my God, Gemini Lightning.
Whoa.
Gemini, thank you so much for all the gift subs in chat.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Gemini.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah,
Emote.
I agree with John. First of all, how dare. So our schedule, our winter schedule. We will be dark between the dates of Saturday the night. Oh my.
Oh my gosh. It's not.
Y'all-
It's just begun.
If you insist on going like this, nobody's gonna know when we go dark for the winter. So, Heart of
Oh,
Handprints,
man.
thank you so much for the gift subs.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Welcome to having books and scrolls, everybody. We have. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Steve.
Lucas is broken.
Woo!
I'm just gonna
You
sit
gotta
here and
match the
pout until we.
energy.
Oh my gosh! Thank you so much,
I
Ferdinand.
think the plan
thank
is
you.
that they're going to keep distracting you so you
Oh my
never
God,
announce when we go dark, so we just
we've
can't
reached
go
a
dark.
level 4 hype train.
I don't. Oh
Oh!
my gosh.
You guys.
I've never seen
I mean, we
a
got 4 more minutes to
What?
bump it up to 100%.
Oh,
Is that 87% right now? I mean, like,
Oh
if
my
anyone
God,
else
okay.
is throwing some.
I mean,
so,
Go
I
to
mean-
bed.
okay, I'm
I mean,
gonna talk
I bet-
really
I bet
fast
you
so I can.
can't-
I'm
I'm challenging you right now. I bet you can't interrupt Lucas again.
I'm gonna go really fast. So here we
All
go.
the episode.
You got this. You got this.
Nope, Geek Out
Yes.
wins.
Yes, geek out.
Oh my God.
Good lord.
I don't even know what's going on.
Wow. Well,
Off to
there
a
went
start.
that hype train. It's
Ooh.
gone now. The hype train has left the station. Everybody,
You're adjacent to many communities that dislike trains, so
particularly the
I mean,
hype
hey,
variety.
we're on level 5
Yeah.
now. 53%. I mean,
Oh
I
my
bet you
gosh.
can't go up to 6.
Oh,
level
I
six.
live by a
Okay,
can't.
here we go. Schedule, winter schedule. We will be off between Saturday the 19th and January 6th. We will be back on January 6th with this very show, Infinite Horizon. There we go. I did it.
Damn it. I mean, it's not too late still. I mean, like, it's got 4 or 5 minutes.
I'm not sure how clear any of that was, but you
check out
heard
our
it.
socials.
Just check out our socials. Oh my God.
Yes.
What?
Doll32, thank you so much. Okay, all right. This time for real. I don't think that train's getting back up.
Yeah, no, I
think
don't think it is, you know.
that- Oh my God,
Like,
y'all are incredible. Holy
I
crap!
think level
That
6
easy hype train, they say.
Easy.
too easy.
Oh
Oh
my God.
goodness.
All right.
Oh
Well,
man. Thank
well,
you.
that happened. Thanks
day.
everybody.
Hey,
Hey,
hump day.
Nat.
Hump day, I guess. I don't have anything else, so I'm just gonna start this show. So here we go. We're going. Oh, let's get into tonight's episode of what is the name of the show again?
It's called
Who
Hype
knows?
Infinite.
Yeah.
Infinite Hype. I can't
Infinite
remember.
Infinite hype rise.
Rise.
All right. Okay. We'll be right back.
Some will say this is the end. We're surrounded, but we won't give in. No. Who will save us? Who will save us? Sometimes you gotta let go. Leave it up to the hero. Who will save us? Who will save us? When the truth's in the shadows, all
Welcome back, everybody. Okay. So,
Pretty sad
previously.
now. Are you kidding me? Okay, come on.
Yeah, Caitlin, get sad.
I know. Starts making it hard.
Previously on Infinite Horizon, the crew of Awakener, having been without their friend and companion Alma for close to 6 months now, set out finally on a search and rescue mission to discover the location of their lost companion. They setting out not only to recover a friend, but also a friend who may just contain the key that will lead them to the origin point for the time anomaly that caused Teon and Ada Sprix to come back in time. And yeah, so when they came back in time, having informed the crew that some sort of parasitic energy was branching out through time, expanding as it went along, that was affecting the future, destroying planets and ships alike, rendering entire regions of space impassable. And stating that the origin point was, while they couldn't track its location, they could track the time of its origination, which was in this present timeline. So, with Alma being the only one who knows where the sorry, let me back up. Teon linked sort of in his mind, like linked the this anomaly to the reemergence of the corpse in his time, stating that at some point in this time, the corpse may have done something that didn't bear out until his time. Wire then connected that to the illegally created prime conduit that the corpse had created in secret. And with Alma being the only one of their allies who had ever seen its location or been there herself, it became that much more important to set out to find her. Last time, the leads sent them to Station 23, formerly the home of one Bina Oba, where there had been a sighting of a ship matching Awakener's description. Upon doing a little investigation, they learned that this ship may have been. There were some mysterious circumstances surrounding this ship, namely its strange trajectory through space, almost leading others who had seen it to refer to it as a ghost ship, which was sending out cryptic messages to any who tried to reach out to it. Having a heading that this ship, now pretty much convinced that it is in fact Awakener, the crew departed from Station 23, but not before going to try to find Bina's pulse bike, her pride and joy, her racing bike, Euphoria, which when they went to the warehouse where Bina had kept it, they found not only was Euphoria missing, but the warehouse itself belonged to somebody else now. Of course, during that investigation, Peach, through use of her powers, got a good glimpse of the person who may have taken Euphoria. However, also came face to face with the shadow that has been haunting her dreams and the uses of her powers. Herself. A vision of Peach that was at once very familiar and entirely alien, who stated in that moment who only Peach could see, who stated in that moment that she and Peach needed to talk and that it was time for them to have a conversation. So, departing Station 23 is where we pick up tonight. So, where we pick up at this moment, I'm going to say, is only moments after we left off, as Bina and Jade have taken up their positions once again in the cockpit of the Solar Flyer, running all the pre-flight checks and everything. You get through all of the procedure of priming the ship, as well as all of the dealing with the docking authorities, and before long you are cleared to take off. You are able to pilot the Solar Flyer out of the force field that protects the hangar bay, the starport, from the vacuum of space, setting out once again, making your way towards the queue leading to the conduit. While that is happening, Mason and Taeon, the two of you are currently securing any kind of cargo, making sure everything is set for departure. Peach. This presence, while you can no longer see her, you can still feel her following you.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, as you are sort of watching the preparations taking place, it almost feels to you as if you can hear or feel somebody breathing near you. It's disconcerting, it's distracting, and you're certain that she is doing it on purpose to make sure that you don't forget her. You kind of glance around, seeing Mason and Taeon, and Vix and Ada Sprix, and Sedona basically moving around the interior of the ship, basically making themselves busy, essentially preparing to sort of make the jump through the conduit. At one point, you can tell that Vix is watching you at one point, but you're sort of just you're vaguely aware of it, but you're just sort of, it's hard to concentrate on anything else at the moment.
Yeah, I'm probably kind of looking around and kind of noticing that everyone is kind of busy, and seeing they kind of have got all the preparations under wraps. I'm gonna go ahead and try to find a quiet place.
Okay.
Because they're all busy, so there should actually be some empty rooms at this point.
Yeah, best place for that right now. It seems everybody's kind of above decks right now, so the best place for that, as usual, it seems to be the cargo hold.
Okay, yeah, I'll head down there.
All right. So, you make your way down to where sort of a makeshift sitting space has been sort of, over the last few days of travel, has just sort of been arranged between Mason and Taeon, sort of arranging sort of a place where people can kind of come and have their quiet time, I suppose. In such close quarters on a ship this small, it's necessary. You head over, and you begin to settle in, but you've hardly sat down. Like you walk towards it and you turn and you sit. And as you turn around, you can see her, and she is just sort of leaning up against one of the cargo racks.
Patience is not a talent of yours.
She shrugs and says, "You would know."
Yeah.
She kind of glances around. She says, "Well, it's not Awakener, but..."
Not yet. Soon.
I figured it was time that we talk. I've been trying to get in contact with you for some time, and it's difficult. I'm imagining that you probably have some questions for me, so rather than do the annoying thing and answer them before you ask them, I'll just let you ask them first. How's that?
Why are you here?
Hmm.
Why am I here? Where?
We are... We're different enough that I think we can stand to refer to ourselves as different people. She sort of frowns and says, "Boy, you went right for the big one, didn't you? All right. Why am I here?" Mostly, I'm here for the same reasons that you're doing everything that you're doing. The corpse are a problem. They're a problem in, well, everywhere. And they have to be dealt with. And to put it bluntly, I'm here because I don't think that you're prepared to do what's necessary.
Do you speak from future knowledge?
In a way. She kind of pauses and sort of frowns for a moment. You can tell that she's sort of thinking through what she's trying to say. Also,
How is she dressed? Is she dressed like the same?
differently than you are. She's
Okay.
dressed in sort of more sort of darker, sort of flowy kind of clothing. It doesn't look particularly. It doesn't look particularly like not tactical at all, but it looks like it could be. It's not impractical either. So yeah, no, it is. But it's very different than what you tend to the way that you tend to dress. Much more subdued and muted. Also, welcome Saving Throw Show. Thanks so much for the follow. So, she kind of after a moment. Yeah, I know. After a moment, she sort of there's a couple minutes of like tense silence as you are just sort of impatiently waiting for her to gather her thoughts, and before she speaks and says,
It's not pleasant to have someone breathing over you.
"Yeah, there are worse things." So she says, trying to think of where to start.
The beginning?
That's kind of a complicated one too. Well, I think it's time. I think we'll just rip the Band-Aid off. How's that? I'm from an alternate timeline, another universe. I've heard it mentioned in a lot of different ways. I've heard it spoken about in different ways, but the important part of it is that I am a you that, well, from your perspective, a you that could have been. A few months ago, we went on a rescue of a bunch of powered individuals, rescuing them from Silverbreak. During that mission, we got jettisoned out into space. Entropis disintegrated the hull of the ship and sent us all out, rather than lose his position. The only reason that you are here and that didn't happen to you, that you don't remember it, is because Taeon changed it. I watched him as our friends died in the vacuum of space. I watched him vanish. I assume that he traveled back just a minute or two in time and changed it.
He didn't mention that.
No, I don't imagine he did. I watched them die. And the only reason that I'm standing here is because something in me changed. And I found myself very suddenly somewhere else. I found myself suddenly in my last moments thinking of home. And suddenly I was standing in our childhood bedroom.
You're a fragment of another timeline.
Not quite. I am the you that might have been. I traveled here after trying to get in contact. You know, you sent a huge ripple through, I assume, all the universes, but you sent a huge ripple through them when you connected with the artifact. It's when I first became aware of you.
It called you here?
In a way, I heard you, and it got me thinking that you could use my help. It took me some doing to work through the dimensional barriers, but actually, I don't even think I would have managed it if not for you. You let me through. When you
Open the door.
When you opened the door. So,
Ooh,
now I'm here.
we were, in a weird way, we were calling out to each other.
Yeah, something like that. You went looking for power, and I guess maybe in some way you found it, but maybe not the way that you were expecting. I have learned so much since that day. I've learned, for one thing, that time moves a little differently there. My timeline is a little bit ahead of yours, a couple of years. So, in that time, I've learned quite a lot. You don't, I say this with no disrespect, you don't have fully a grasp on what you're capable of.
Well, all of our powers are continuing to grow. I mean, it's bound to happen.
It's true, but you have a capacity that the others don't. Your powers reach a depth, a level of complexity that, well, I guess I don't know that for sure.
Show me.
It's okay.
Like, just gonna talk a big game?
She just she sighs and sort of walks over to you and just sort of extends a hand out to you.
Yeah, I take it.
The moment your hand touches hers, you are no longer standing in the cargo bay.
Mm-hmm.
You're standing on the surface of a world that you don't recognize, with towering trees, hundreds of feet high, all around you. You can hear around you the sounds of woodland just stretching out, a cacophony of birds and insects. The smell of resin hits you like a wall, and you can feel kind of a slightly thinner atmosphere than you're used to experiencing, just sort of with your as you take a deep breath, and you can almost feel the slight discomfort of not being able to fully take that breath in. She says, "It's not a dream. You're really here." And as she's saying that, you immediately, before she even said it, you knew it was true. She says, "Dreams aren't just visions that we have when we close our eyes. Dreams are doorways." And as she's saying that, you kind of glance around, and suddenly you blink, and you're back in the cargo bay.
We were gone, and then it's incredible.
It is. We went
How far?
the other side of the galaxy. A place no one that you have ever known, no one in this region, no one in the Commonwealth or the Ascendancy or even corporate space has ever been, or likely ever will. I can teach you to do these things. I learned, but when I learned on my own, it came at a cost. Many of them, actually.
Did you lose?
She opens her mouth to respond, and as she does, you can hear footsteps coming. And she just sort of turns, and you see, as you follow her gaze, you see Vic step into the cargo hold, and he goes, "Oh, there you are."
Hey, sorry, in a weird dream, trying to get intel.
Right, yeah, sure. I was just making sure that you're okay. As he's standing there looking at you with concern, you see that she has straightened up and has walked over to him. And you see as she's now standing in front of him, and he's looking right through her towards you. You can't see her face, but you do see that her hand sort of comes up and sort of reaches out towards his face, and just sort of hangs there as he goes, "All right, well, I'm going to start making something to eat. So
Make one for me.
yeah, I was going to say you should probably stop me because I am very bad at that. So
Just see if you can get some advice from Bina.
yeah. Ooh, good idea. All right." And he leaves. You can see that she's standing there as he leaves, her hand still just sort of hanging in the air where he was. And she slowly lowers it and turns back around. Says, "I lost a lot."
Kind of processing that and like realizing what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Peach just kind of turns back. Like, how are you going to teach me? What do I need to know? I mean, how do I stop our present from being your present.
That future's already closed to you. Your Kamathi friend saw to that. But
Does Vix know? Does he remember?
I never got the chance to ask him. But I'd guess he knows. Look, right now, the thing you need to focus on is finding Alma and Awakener.
Do you know where she is?
No. This didn't happen where I come from. I don't know that.
Am I telling the truth?
What a strange question to ask. Do you know what? You can roll, or if you want, you can make an insight spend. I think an insight is a 3 intellect spend.
Am I lying to myself?
A question I ask myself every day.
Yeah, I'll spend. What do I need? What's the cost?
It's 3 intellect.
Okay. So it's just eaten by my edge then.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, she's telling the truth. And it makes sense, because if you think about it,
had to check.
If things had played out the way that she explained, none of the rest would have happened. Like Sulon probably wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
None of that. So she says, right now, Alma is the most important thing. You won't be able to do anything without her, without Awakener. You need them, so that's what you need to focus on. But for now, I'll give you something that I think is just so that you know that we're on the same side. Just as a token of good faith, because I'm guessing you don't trust me, because I wouldn't trust me.
Yeah.
There's more happening than just the corpse, and I think you understand that, and you know a little bit about it just from what you learned about Damien Ellis on Sulon.
He has something else in the works.
It's not him, or rather, it's not just him. The artifacts aren't just... There's so much more than even what you know of them. They draw people to them. Not all people, but some people. And when enough people are drawn to the artifacts, it's not just... They don't just make warped. Some people change in different ways. When enough people gather around an artifact for long enough, it starts to develop a consciousness. A consciousness is created. A being of pure thought. I don't know much about them because I've never seen one myself. All I know is that Ellis is a puppet of one of these. I don't know how long, but
he's made one?
No. He found one, and it took him, and it has been puppeting him for a long time. I don't know exactly how long, but he hasn't been following a corporate agenda for a long time.
It's a little poetic in a way.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And I mean, we don't know. Do you know anything else about these artifacts? I mean, it's like they're a window into a whole other universe, or...
I don't know much about them. All I know is that Ellis has been gathering them for a long time, years. He's been seeking them out and gathering them, and I don't know where they go after that.
Do they have a body?
Like I said, I've never actually seen one of these collective intelligences. I just know about them. What I'm saying is that the stakes are a lot higher than... The stakes are, well, as high as they've always been. The difference is that you know now.
How do I know that one's not puppeting you right now?
You don't, I suppose, but I think you'd be able to tell.
Yeah, I think our will's pretty strong.
It is. This is getting to be a little bit exhausting, especially after the trip we just took, so I'm going to have to leave you for a little bit. But find Alma and think about what I've said.
Safe journey home.
And she is just not there anymore.
Is there anybody else in the cargo hold?
No, right now it's just you.
I'm gonna sit and kind of focusing on the way that planet smelled, the sounds, the physical sensations of being there. I want to see if I can bring myself there.
Okay.
It's kind of a little like, it's like she doesn't really think that she could do it, but it's just like it's a curiosity and she
Yeah.
wants to see.
You close your eyes and you remember the cacophony of bird sounds, the smell of resin, that deep, pungent, earthy scent, the feeling of the air as it passed into your lungs. And for a moment, you almost feel like you might feel that a soft brush of breeze across your cheek. But then it's gone.
She's gonna sit there for a little bit longer and kind of think things through, think things over, and then she's gonna go and see if Vix has burned down the ship.
All right. So we're actually gonna cut a little bit ahead, because as you, Bina, in the cockpit, you and Jade pilot the solar flyer through the conduit, finally reaching your turn in the queue. You find yourself once again as space warps around you, seeing gas clouds and nebula pass by, shooting past you, as you make your way in pursuit of Awakener towards the edge of ascendancy space, moving towards the border worlds. We're gonna go ahead and cut to the end of that particular journey as you exit out into what is essentially nothing. Like, there's no station on this side. There's no planets nearby. And judging by your charts, it looks like the nearest system is probably about a day's burn away through FTL. So this conduit is quite literally just in the middle of nowhere. And as you exit from the conduit, Jade is sort of looking and goes, Okay. Any thoughts on how we're going to track the ship? I mean, we know that she came this way, but...
Yeah, what was the timeline on that?
I
I pull up the docs that we received, like I looked through the timeline.
It
and
was
stuff of
probably about three months ago.
Okay. And there is... Sorry, you said the closest station was a day's burn
No, the
away?
closest solar system.
System. Got it. So then likely similarly. Can I do a pull up like the GPS? What's out here? Like, is there
Sure.
anything like stationed out here? Are there any like
Yeah.
anything, any people out
Sure,
there.
absolutely. Yeah, you go through and just sort of pull up the charts on this. And the nice thing is that right now where you're at, you're still in explored territory. So there's like charts are just gonna give you this information. So you as you're looking through them, there's several systems nearby in relative terms. That's about within about 5 to 7 days at FTL, and few of those planets or few of those systems are inhabited. Um, there is, except for one that has an ascendancy outpost. Um, after that, there's not really any stations out this far. Uh, there's a system that contains a planet that was once inhabited, but has long since been abandoned, just due to the nature of the fact that it became sort of unlivable. It Mostly due to the fact that it has sort of like just really like the period of the planet is so long that it creates basically long stretches where the planet is either half of it is always sort of frozen and the other half of it is just cooked by the sun.
Scorched.
So it's just sort of
Whoa.
like, and
Oh,
it
I love
changes
that.
very slowly because of how long days are on those planets. So
Love that.
ultimately it became sort of uninhabitable.
Sick.
But there are still remains of whole cities there on that planet. Those are probably the most notable features. There is an observation post just on the edge of what would be considered nearby. So probably closer to like 7 or 8 days away. Otherwise, you're pretty much out in the boonies. There is nothing
Yeah.
out here.
And I'm sure the answer to this is correct, but there is no way to interface with the conduits unless you are utilizing them to get slingshotted to another one, right? Like there's no like recent log that
Right.
we would have any access to.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where like you could do it. It is illegal, but if that
And
doesn't
also
bother
the
you,
caretakers would not be happy
the
with
caretakers wouldn't be happy about it. And also, even if somehow you could get around both of those things, there's I was going to say there's some debate, but there's actually no debate. Like you would not be able to parse whatever you got back
No,
from those
yeah.
conduits.
We got it's not cool.
The
Just
thing
wanted
about
to double
ancient
check.
the thing about ancient alien technology is that you don't understand it.
It's ancient and
Yeah.
long dead languages. Okay. So I think will send out just like a ship-wide ping that, hey, we've crossed the other side of the conduit. What next? I think she's gonna just kind of start stew on some stuff because it's not like we can look up we can't find and trace an ion trail from 3 months ago. Like that's
Right.
not possible. So I think we're gonna have to get crafty.
Yeah.
We didn't have any other our lead
So,
was like
hold on.
we're
So
on
let's-
this side of space.
let's
right?
just say this right now. Like, so as you are like have basically come out on the other side of the conduit, we'll just say that you all kind of reconvene.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
I'm gonna call a meeting.
Yeah.
We don't have the observation deck anymore.
We're just on the bridge.
We're just
Right.
on the bridge.
Oh,
The
love it.
biggest
Yeah.
space, the space that has sort of
Probably
taken that place is sort of like the space that's sort of like passenger space that's right directly behind the bridge or the cockpit, which is it has like the rows of seats that face each other across the across the way. It does have a similar sort of like table that rises out of the floor like on Awakener's
cool.
thing. It's not as advanced. It's not like a super nice holographic table or anything like that. But it does provide like a good there is a projector in it that kind of provides sort of rudimentary holographic images and stuff like that, but it'll do. You can display charts on it, no problem, things like that. So
Yeah. So I think I'll take us away from the conduit. Not that I'm expecting company, but just set us somewhere and anchor, but just get us set. We're not going I don't want to start heading somewhere.
Right.
And
Yeah,
then,
Yeah.
So I think I'm just gonna get far enough away and then just chill. And
Okay.
then get everyone in the same spot and we'll chat.
yeah, absolutely. All right, so you all basically reconvene around kind of this meeting space, sort of seeing all the information in front of you that Bina just pulled up on the star charts, you can kind of see all of that.
So yeah, she's like pull it up. She's like basically running through everything that we know, just very quickly. Being a fast talk, and I think she'll probably end it with, but we know it came out through this conduit. She'll point in the direction we kind of came, and be like, and we know that conduit is used to enter corpse space. So I feel like that might be our biggest chance that they're headed to corpse space, but I don't know. It was 3 months ago.
Clarifying point, because I think this got a little bit muddled last time. So you're not going towards corporate space. The thing about corporate space last time is that's where the ship came from.
Okay. God, I thought I had it backwards both times.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So like that's so
from
Well,
corporate
that's
space.
good though. We don't have to go into corporate space.
God damn it. Okay.
yeah.
I corrected myself and then didn't read that far in my notes.
Yeah.
From the conduit
Classic.
used to corporate space.
Yeah.
So they're
no,
leaving.
the way that you're going
left
is
corporate
towards the
space.
border worlds.
Going towards the
Okay.
border world.
Yeah.
That's what I
Perfect.
said. So I also wrote Evil Peach is hanging out. But okay.
It's hanging out.
Hey, that's yet to be determined.
As of last episode, I was still calling her Evil Peach. Yeah, okay. Headed towards the border worlds. That's where people are, and she'll pull up the map that she pulled up earlier to kind of show where notable things are, but like that doesn't mean that they're where other people are, which honestly probably is more likely that they're where people aren't.
Yeah. Could we go to the nearest system and see if anyone else has? We don't have the best tracking equipment. Maybe someone in the closest system have some kind of. They must keep track of who comes in and out, right?
Yeah, but the nearest system isn't like 23 where we came from, where the station is just off from the conduit. The nearest system here is like a day away.
Oh.
Am I correct on that? Did I say that right?
Sorry, say that again.
It's a day away. The
Yeah,
nearest system is a
The
day
nearest
away.
system is and that's a day's full burn of FTL. So like
Yeah.
Can't slingshot herself over there. It's gonna be that's fuel that we'd have to replace.
If we were trying to hide and study a very
Illegal?
important illegal person, where would we hide? I mean, Mason, are you familiar with anywhere in the border world that would be a good hiding location?
Could Mason draw on his regulator?
I'm gonna say in this case, yes and no. Yes, you can, but I'm gonna say no. It's not helpful because the idea of there being any one specific place in the border worlds that's better
there's
to
so
hide than
many.
anywhere else is there's no way. Like you would never be able to narrow it
True.
down.
Yeah. That's a lot. A lot of information. We don't have that kind of time to scroll through that.
Either probably going to be where there aren't people, or they're going to hide in plain sight. But I don't know.
Well, last time they were docked, a lot of people disappeared. Can we see if there's an irregular number of disappearances anywhere?
Maybe.
I don't know if that's going
Yeah.
to be helpful. I mean, there's been disappearances all over the galaxy because of them.
Yeah.
Ada Sprix, is she with us?
Yeah.
Ada Sprix, do you think you could find those stats? See if they're localized anywhere in this region of space?
Let's see.
I don't.
Maybe. What specifically are we looking for?
Disappearances. I don't know if that's quite. I mean, it's something we can look at. It might be helpful, but
We have this from earlier. We still have the tracked disappearances, right, from earlier, like last season, didn't we?
The ones that Mason
have-
found?
Yeah, didn't we have like a layout of all of the disappearances
Yeah.
of people?
Yeah.
yeah, we can see if it updated and see if anything has like increased exponentially in any area in the border worlds area, like region of space. I don't know. It's like this isn't if they're doing conduit things. I feel like that would be separate from the conditioning and genetic
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So don't know if that there would be correlation, but that doesn't mean there isn't going to be.
I mean, they're working on a conduit and no one knows about it. So I think hiding where no one is might be the most likely. I imagine it'd be pretty hard to hide a conduit from a populated planet.
When we saw Alma's dream, Alma's memories, is there any way Bina and Peach could try to reconstruct what we saw? Like in our, like, either as like a dream jeez, a dream space for the rest of the crew to see with us, or for us to like explore more thoroughly, because it was connected to Peach's powers and we both saw it. Is that something we could try?
You probably could. I
'Cause I don't know if maybe we've seen something that there could be information there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely try that. I
Jeez.
think the best way is probably not by memory, but through use of Peach's powers, like you suggested,
Yeah.
might be the best way.
So if we can like just kind of like pull through those tabs and pull that file back out. Like,
I think I bookmarked this somewhere. I named it conduit website.
I could try to I could try to re-access Alma's memory. I've never done that, but
yeah, I was hoping that like if there's anything I could do to help, because I also saw it and I don't know if that.
I mean, I could put us in daydream. Like I could, like we could just see it, but I don't know. I could just probably also just project it like an image too. So that's probably better.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see like if we can reconstruct it somehow, either just in your own head or for everyone to see, like whatever that looks like, just to see if we can like comb through it like frame by frame, essentially.
Yeah.
Because we did see something. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
One thing that I will also say is that as you're sort of talking this through, Vic speaks up and he just says, "Okay, so hold on a second. What we're trying to do then is to find Alma and awaken her, so that we can find the conduit. But in order to find them, we're looking for the conduit."
Yeah, I guess we don't know that that's where they've gone, but it's
That's true. I guess I just assumed they were going back conduit stuff because that's where they had her before. But maybe they probably want her for other reasons now too. She was studying Awakener.
I mean,
She was with the conduit. Maybe I'm thinking of this in the reverse order. I don't know what step we have to make our own stepping stones right now because we've got close to nothing except a 3-month gap.
Is there any way to check out some systems where they might land, look at their records of ships leaving and exiting, and see if there's any footprint that matches the ghost footprint that I have on this file that we're sharing, that was given to me by the one who gave me the tall tale in a bar.
Ada's antennae like just sort of go up, and she looks at you. She's like, "Wait, hold on a second. There may not be a record from the conduit or anything nearby, but we're in ascendancy space, right? So that means, I mean, the ascendancy, at least, well, most places have sensor buoys out in deep space. We could try to tap their lines and find. I mean, you might not be able to find a trace from that far back, but we might be able to find, if they're anywhere within range of the sensor grid, we might be able to match it to something that is here now."
Stepping stone?
Sounds like one.
Is that something that is accessible to the public of where these are located? I assume so, so you don't like
Yeah,
hit
I mean,
them.
probably. Yeah. I'm sure they're charted. I mean, because it's not like they're top secret anything
Yeah,
like that.
no.
They're more like, yeah, it's more just sort of
And a
for.
freedom of information request, and we'll get it.
You probably would not be able to get access to them, but you know where they are.
That's
yeah.
step one. Stepping
yeah.
stone one. Get there. I'm gonna pull up that some sort of area map and find the nearest one.
Sure. Nearest one's not actually that far away. It's like you don't even. You probably wouldn't. It'll be faster to go to FTL, but you don't actually have to. You could get there in like under a day. Like maybe like even like in not using FTL, you could get there in under a day.
Is that gonna save us fuel, or will it be the same?
It probably would. Yeah, it probably would save you fuel if you did that.
All right, we're gonna save fuel just because we are in the middle of goddamn nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awkward. That'd be an awkward phone call to wire.
Yeah. Like, hey, so could you call AAA and
Like, wire, make sure no one's in the room.
Did we refuel on 23?
Yeah, that's sort
We
of
must have,
it's sort of a
yeah.
default thing. Like if you dock somewhere, you're just you are
Cool.
it's automatically assumed that that's sort of
Good.
part of the docking thing, unless they don't have fueling facilities.
Mhm.
But
Cool. 23 days.
standard procedure is any ship that docks gets refueled.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
So we're good for now, but I will, as much as Bina would like to move as fast as possible, she's trying to be practical with all of the knowing that we really don't have a lot to go off of, and I want to make
Yeah.
sure that we are
It'll probably take you
several hours. Probably.
yeah, it's probably close. You're probably looking at about 5 or 6 hours to get there.
Cool. We can think some more while we try to figure out how we're going to get access
Yeah.
to it. I mean, we have one Ada Sprix, who I feel like is going to give us an upper hand at the very
Oh,
least. But
you look over at her and she is already like writing a program. She's
okay,
already
so we're good.
yeah.
So we just need to get there. We just need to give Ada Sprix time to write a program, and then we go. So yeah, with that,
Love
I
it.
think my most useful thing at the moment is to get us there. So I'm gonna jump out
Okay,
and start putting in a heading towards the nearest buoy.
sounds good. Anything in particular anybody else wants to do before we cut to that?
Ooh. I think I'm just like sitting beside Ada, like staring at their screen, not knowing what's going on, but like enjoying how fast she's typing. Like
Yeah.
it's great.
After a moment, she notices that you're just sort of sitting there like watching her, and she looks over at you and smiles, and then just sort of leans her head on you and continues to sort of like, yeah, just head on your shoulder, just keeps going.
I
keeps
rest my
typing
head
away.
on hers.
Mason's gonna go to what
No, go ahead.
little of a mess hall there is, and see if there's coffee.
Oh yeah, Vix is already in
he
there.
Grabs.
Yeah,
Oh,
Vix
cool.
is already in there with you, and he's just looking. He goes, "Oh boy, I did not follow very much of that."
Oh,
Yeah.
oh. Well, that's okay.
Whew. Starting to feel like I'm a little bit useless out here, but
Well, could you point me to where the coffee is? I have not found it yet.
yeah, he points over to he just sort of very dramatically points into the corner of the room where you can see like on one of the counters there is still like a pot that has a little bit in it.
Oh, there. Look, you're useful. And Mason kind of just walks over, and
said,
pours himself some
It's
coffee.
all I've ever aspired to in my life.
There's not much to go off right now, so I would just, sit tight and wait until there is some action to be had.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll surprise yourself.
Yeah. Maybe I will.
Can you still, fight?
Oh. Yeah, when we were back on the base, I would sneak away from time to time, and when I was sure nobody was in the gym, and I would, I tested it a couple of times, and even though I never actually learned to do any of that, fighting stuff before, it seems like muscle memory is pretty strong, so, yeah, I mean, I may be a little bit rusty, but it's all in there.
Yeah. Really bizarre, this whole thing. I still... I still have a time wrapping my head around it.
Yeah, how do you think I feel?
Well, you're not alone.
That's true.
Oh, yep. That's that's really strong coffee.
You know what I find makes probably would make that a little bit better. And he reaches over towards where you can see that there is like a bottle of some kind of like alcohol just sort of set like on the fridge, and then reaches past it and grabs like this grabs like a different bottle that has some sort of like flavoring or something on it, and he says, "This is this is a Keldro spice. You don't want to use it too much of it because it is not good for your digestive system if you use too much of it. Believe me. But I mean, do you mind if I?"
No, I think I might even be familiar with this.
He unscrews the top and just taps like 2 drops into it, closes it back up. And he says, "Swirl that around. It gives it a little extra kick."
Those flavors are very familiar. And then add a little bit of Keldro whiskey to it as well, and you've got a really fine beverage.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, I vaguely seem to recall that. I don't really drink anymore.
I do. I'll take it.
Well, I know where my share's going then.
That sounds good to me. And
See?
Mason grabs the bottle.
I'm being useful.
Yeah, I said you would.
He just sort of says, "Thanks for, all of it."
All right, don't get too wishy-washy on me. Kid.
Yeah, no, absolutely, definitely not. Not even a little bit.
Thanks.
And he walks out of the room.
Mason will just kind of lean up against the table. Or whatever is leanable againstable.
Mm-hmm.
That's a word.
Yeah.
Just kind of hang out there.
Sounds good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and cut to the buoy. It takes no time. It took Ada Spriggs more time to write the program than it does to apply it and get information from it.
Love
you,
that.
literally, Bina, she and Jade are all kind of like crammed into the small cockpit, and she like literally you just sort of pull up sort of alongside the buoy and just sort of settle awaken her, and she goes, "Okay, I got it."
Leona, like, looks at her, nods at Jade, and it's gonna just keep going, not even full stop.
Yeah.
We're just gonna keep rolling.
Yeah.
Oh no, nothing's fine. Nothing happened here.
Yeah, you watch as like some of your displays start updating with some of the information. It doesn't look like it's real time.
She's great, isn't she?
It doesn't look like any kind of real time info, but it looks like at least over the course of the last like 4 months or so, you can see a lot of like movements. And so what you're seeing right now, sorry, that's not true. You wouldn't be able to get that readings from that far back. You would be able to get more like just a couple of weeks, but you do have a solid ping of basically anything that is within range of the sensor grid is gonna show up. So basically she's going through it as you continue flying, and she goes, "So right now, if that ship is anywhere within range of the sensor grid, we're going to be able to find it right away. I am currently cross-referencing the specs of the ghost trail that Mason found, and with basically all the information that Mason found, cross-referencing it with anything that is currently in the system, and hopefully in just a few minutes we'll have something. But if not, then, well, that still tells us something. It means that it tells us a pretty significant area that the ship isn't.
Ada Spriggs feels a spike of nerves and very tentative excitement.
Yeah, you immediately, without hesitation, feel like a spike of just sort of like reassurance and understanding.
And it was
Ada-
not an output. It was just a general Orsay.
Yeah.
Love it. And then I was like, yes,
Love-
also emotional
love that.
communication. I love it.
Ada,
That's so
I'm not
cool.
I'm not just saying this because you are a lifesaver, but really nice to have you on board.
She sort of swivels the co-pilot's chair around, which Jade has kind of abdicated to her, and she looks up at you as she like. As you can see on her terminal, is just sort of flicking through a bunch of like information very quickly. And she looks up at you and says, "It's really nice to be here."
Like Taylor just sitting there like watching his friends be friends with his friends. Like, I love this.
Yeah, Peach kind of glances over at Taeyeon, and you can't quite read her expression. For a second, it's a little like kind of shooting you a dirty look, but you don't really know what it's
Oh.
for.
Ooh, what does
Oh,
Ada
okay.
Spriggs feel?
Oh boy.
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, what does Ada
feel?
feel? 'Cause Ada is-
So, I think it's kind of like just a quick flash of like irritation and a little bit of distrust.
Oh,
Oh boy.
Ooh.
And
Well, I mean,
it's like it's gone pretty quick, like, but it's definitely like she's able to probably pick up on that for a second.
All right.
Because to Peach, like he that's a very important thing that he didn't like inform us of, and like she's unhappy.
Oh.
All right.
I mean, Taylor doesn't know why he got that look, and I think Taylor doesn't even really notice it.
Yeah, probably not.
Like-
It's not like a super,
Yeah.
Ada kind of glances sideways at Bina, and then
Oh my god.
looks down.
Then she would feel the basically a confusion to the effect of like
Yeah.
from Bina. Like that's very emotional.
Is
That's
it-
what she feels.
When there's two like Orzai and one Orzai is feeling another person's emotions, is it like an echo? Like is it like people are like talking in the same room? Like,
I mean like they
Is there
both
reverb?
both
Yeah.
of them felt you, and then clearly there's a ping, like an acknowledgement sometimes, like you'll feel like someone paid attention to that thing I just felt, and then so they have like a moment of we both just acknowledged that, and then have like a non-verbal.
It's that silent moment where there's like the side eye and it's happening like for everyone and no one.
yeah, but it's just a second, and she like
Yeah,
picks
just
picks
a
up
second,
conversation
yeah.
again. Like it's not
Yeah.
a long.
yeah.
All right. So
Emotional
if
equivalent
you
of
just a couple of minutes pass as this conversation and exchange is taking place, and you hear a sudden beeping from Ada's terminal, and she looks down. She goes, "Ooh, we picked something up. That's interesting." She says, "Wait a minute. That's."
Bina's peeking.
Taylor's gonna peek
peeking
over as well.
She says, "Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I hate it when people do that too. Okay. So I did pick up a ping from a ship that matches the description, but that matches the trails that we found, the data that we have, but it's not the one from Awakener. It's the other one. It looks like it's that scrapper ship." Recalling at this moment that Bina, this is what I'm losing names.
Describe the character. Who?
Destuck. Sorry, Destuck. This is what Destuck told you about. This is that he heard about a scrapper ship that was heading out after some sort of and he gave you that data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up and we can
Yeah.
see side by side.
She says, "So whatever that ship was, the scrapper ship, it's still around somewhere on, well, this. She pulls up. She's here, and she sort of throws up the display onto the projection, and you can see that the star charts have focused on the planet that you looked at earlier, the one that is now largely abandoned.
Yep.
Yeah, and you can see a signal pulse from that planet that matches that scrapper ship.
And it seemed like they were so sorry. Remind me. The scrapper ship came. Were they the ones looking about, like paying attention to the ghost ship?
Yeah, they're the ones who seemed like they were
Following.
pretty interested in the ghost ship.
Okay.
Which
Okay.
it happens from time to time where like there are like legit actual ghost ships that like just sort of for maybe they suffered some sort of disaster in transit or something like that and they end up drifting. It's heaven for scrappers. Like that is a gold mine for scrappers. So it's
So-
not
Okay.
uncommon for scrappers.
They
to
might
be-
have just followed it to try and
Yeah.
get the.
So either
Steps.
it is a genuine scrappers who thought they found a genuine ghost ship, or it was a cover for other people looking for Awakener. Either way, we know they had eyes or sensors on Awakener at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to go find them.
It's the only stepping stone we have right now. I mean,
Stepping stone too.
yeah.
But there's
Go
an
for the
empty
pass at this
space.
point.
Right, we might be able to get close enough and pull information off of their systems.
Mhm.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Even talk
See if
to them
their
if we have to.
ship has
If we
any
have
weapons.
to.
It's definitely a thing we should check for as well.
Mhm.
I mean, they're around an abandoned planet. That usually doesn't bode well for how the morality lies.
You don't
Think
think they're
that's-
friends?
I
Maybe.
don't know.
No.
I mean, I'm trying not to
don't-
judge, but there's a chance there's a high possibility that they won't be. No.
How
Assume
far
they
is
are.
that planet from us? Did you say that was?
It's
several
actually
days?
it is in the nearest system.
Okay, and have we gotten closer, further, or are we adjacent to get to this buoy?
Not you're gonna have to go to FTL either way, and it's negligible distance via FTL. So
Cool.
yeah.
Day-ish of FTL burn.
Mhm.
Sweet.
Yep. So
Is there anything we need to do beforehand, or do we want to go?
I mean, is there? I mean, I think we should move as
Finding
fast as we
almost the
possibly
most
can.
important thing.
Okay, Bean is already spinning around in her chair and plotting a course to the system,
Hmm.
somewhere just outside of the system. Not,
Mhm.
we're not gonna beam directly into the. I don't think we can even FTL into a system, but yeah, just somewhere outside of it so we can gather ourselves before we go.
all right. I'm going to actually cut us ahead to arrival. Okay.
Oh, cool.
So it's a day's worth of very uneventful travel. Just sort of finding a way to live aboard this very cramped, close quarters ship. You arrive in the system and travel toward the planet. It is a by all like normal definitions, it is a habitable planet. The problem with it is that it has a climate that is just stable enough to support life and to support habitation, but just unstable, like changes enough that it makes it unsustainable. As it has a very long period, which means that its days are extremely long. Just long enough to sort of establish something. As your sensors right now are reading that there are you can see right now like the remains of whole cities that existed on this planet. The unfortunate fact is that as the planet turns, there's a very narrow band at any moment that is constantly moving, that is in any way habitable. So basically, the only places where anybody could find anything is at the and make anything lasting is at the poles. But you can see just from your sensors, you can see right now that there is a signal, and now that you're closer, that signal you can get a much more accurate read on that signal, and you can see where it's coming from. It is coming from just sorry, I'm trying to sort of dawnward from the duskward from the current kind of twilight band that sort of surrounds the planet. So it is maybe just a few miles duskward from that. So you can see at this point that as you're looking at your sensors, your ship sensors, that now that you're within range of the signal, you can tell very clearly that it is a distress signal.
Well, looks like we're gonna meet them anyways.
Yeah, I mean,
Can you tell how long it's been going off?
Yeah, is that information I would know?
No.
From the buoy? Would that be able to pick up on how long?
Actually, you know what? You would probably have that information at least as far back as you can get information from the buoy.
Ooh, a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Dang.
oh, okay.
And we can
That's been a
assume.
while.
Yeah. Is this something that looks familiar? Do often scrappers or those who are maybe pretending to look like scrappers set up a trap?
Pirates do this kind of thing a lot. Scrappers
But
not
for
so much.
several-
Scrappers tend to try to avoid contact with other people.
Also, several
makes
weeks
sense,
of the
yeah.
same ruse would be
It would be, yeah. That's what I'm.
foolish, to put it
Oh,
lightly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's been several weeks. Yeah. Let's go. Right.
Can
Is there a way we can check for any? I don't know. Again,
what
this
do I
technology is
scan?
a lot.
what are
Yeah.
scanners
Can-
look like?
Yeah, life forms, anything like that.
I doubt any
Life in general.
You can do that. It probably won't tell you anything useful, just because the planet is not. I mean, there's lots of life forms on the planet, like native life forms and stuff like that. You wouldn't be able to necessarily differentiate from this range. You wouldn't be able to necessarily differentiate any humanoid life from other.
Can
Makes
I
sense, yeah.
like ping them?
Yeah, you
Communications?
could try that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you sort of tune the frequency
Open
to
a line
yeah.
to see if we can get us on the same.
Yeah. Are you just sort of pinging them, or are you actually sending them a message?
Oh, I think I'll just open it, like
Mhm.
opening a channel, and just be like, hello, scrapper ship. This is the solar flyer. Is anybody there?
You get nothing back. The signal continues to pulse.
Cool.
Ada Spriggs looks down.
Okay.
She says, "It looks like
We'll
it's
check
an
back."
automated signal,
Okay.
just set to loop."
Been going
many-
for weeks. It seems like it could be empty.
They could also, their communications devices could be down.
Yeah. Either way, even if they're unfortunately gone, there could still be info on the scrappers. I think going to them probably the only and best option we have.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Ada raises a hand and just says, "If any part of their computer systems is intact, I should be able to find something at least."
Ada. Words I love to hear.
At the very
I
least,
mean-
I can try to mine their black box for information if we can find it.
Mm.
And the lucky thing is, if that ship's distress signal is functioning, then the black box should be nearby.
Yeah.
I'm going to, Bina kind of flips around in her chair, and at once I'm going to figure out what the current climate is of the location that it is, if I can get that information, and start taking us down. And she's just going to be
Sure.
like, I mean, it would be really smart if the only thing they could do if their ship was damaged, the only thing they could do to get their distress beacon up was to take down their communications. I mean, like, you'd want that up first to get. She's just going to
Yeah.
very clearly,
So-
nervously rambling.
Here's the information that you get as far as surface, like planet side. Right now, the vicinity of the planet where the distress beacon is coming from, appears to be just about just a couple of days, I would say, into its dusk cycle. So it is even though like the days are extremely long, the twilight period on any given planet or any given moment part of the planet, the twilight period is probably maybe only a couple days long. So you you can see that right now, temperature wise, it's cold, but it's not frozen. It's not freezing. It's just a little, yeah, it's
We've
cold.
dealt with frozen wastelands.
Yeah, it's definitely not as cold as the planet the Resistance base is on.
Probably all still have our thick jackets on, on the coast on the
Yeah.
on the ship.
Yeah, so we'll start heading down.
Okay. Yeah, you take the solar flyer down into orbit.
I keep comms open too, by the way, just in case they decide to respond.
Yeah, following the beacon, you can you find an area. Apparently, so the ship is actually not terribly far away from the outskirts of one of the abandoned cities, and the closer you get to it, and the more your sensors are able to sort of adjust to range, the more you start to finally get to like an image of the ship, and it appears quite clearly that there is a huge smoke plume. That ship did not land. And there is kind of an open space near it, large enough for the flyer to land. You touch down before too long. So
That does not look good.
If they were
Oh, it doesn't.
Caitlin, I think you're muted.
Yeah.
just not working.
Okay.
That's so weird. It's been happening for every so often. It's weird.
I don't know. If they were chasing Awakener and whoever had Awakener didn't want them to be chasing Awakener, then
Yeah.
this would make sense.
Yeah, I can't imagine a scrapper ship could follow Awakener for very long. Well, maybe there's still something useful.
Maybe some footage of or information of who or what might have shot them down. I don't imagine a scrapper would just crash.
So we touched down.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need enviro?
No.
Anything?
It's
Okay.
it's livable, breathable atmosphere. It's just cold.
Okay. Yeah, I think we wrap up, like get all equip everything, and
Okay.
I think we're going
Someone's
to go
like
over. Is
sets
anyone
his
gonna?
thermostat on his.
All right.
Is anyone gonna stay
so cool.
on the solar flyer? Or do we all want to go?
I'm going.
Yeah.
I wouldn't miss this one
I'm-
out.
Yeah,
We're
I'll go.
definitely going.
Ada goes,
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm going to stay here. I don't actually have to come with you to get any information. You just have to
Of course you don't.
bring me
Understandable.
something. You see Jade and Sedona exchange a look, and they nod to you and they say, "We'll stay."
Okay.
Vic,
Kind of
Keep an
give
eye
Vix
out.
a look,
Yeah.
yeah. Like
Goes-
asking him.
Oh, sure. Why not?
Come for a stroll?
Can't think of a nicer place.
Yeah, Bina will instruct those staying who are not
Mhm.
doing hacking work to keep an eye out, sensors wise, so that if for somehow this is a trap, we at least have someone looking out for us.
All right. So you disembark from the solar flyer, stepping out onto the ground that is somewhat frost covered, but it's not particularly. It doesn't look like it's snowed or anything like that. You take a few steps as the loading ramp closes behind you, making your way to kind of towards the wreck. You begin moving. I'm gonna say Mason. as you are moving, you're sort of looking around. Your eyes sort of immediately adjust to the dark, just instantaneously.
Yeah.
Cool.
In the distance, where you are standing, you're basically standing on a bit sort of a big open plain right now, and the fact that this planet has long stretches of scorching days and long frozen nights means that life has evolved accordingly. So right now, as you're looking around you, you see that there are plants that are sort of in the process of bursting up through the frost. They're not quite up yet, but you see that it's happening. So right now, what you're standing on is what is essentially frozen rocky desert that is in the process of blooming. But because of that,
Neat.
as you're looking around, because it's so open and there's very little sort of obscuring your view, you see the looming shape in the darkness of the wreck, some ways away from you, the plume of smoke still rising from it. But much closer to you, probably only about 50 feet away from where you disembarked from from the Solar Flyer.
Really rub it in.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm just here to cause you pain.
Understandable.
You can see a dark shape on the ground, and even from this distance, you can tell that it is a body.
Mason has his heart sinks a little bit. Got a body up ahead.
I immediately expand feeler zone.
Yeah. You sense your companions, nothing else. You can see sort of light sort of come from somewhere nearby, and as you turn, you can see that Vix has his hands outstretched, and they are sort of like glowing faintly, sort of giving you a little bit of light.
Can
Not,
Anzalonians see in the dark? Like, can I, like we
you know
can,
what?
right?
A little bit, but what Anzalonians can see is they can see a little ways into the infrared spectrum. So
Okay.
you can actually what you see is kind of slightly more like vague impressions of heat.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, wait, how about
Cool.
chemists? I don't know. I've never asked.
Oh yeah,
this.
you
Do
can
they have
definitely
anything like
see
that?
very clearly in the dark. Like
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
very clearly.
Whereas I come from a very dark planet, but also Bina has exceptional sight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's fair.
It's a nice gesture, though.
Yeah. You all sort of move towards it, and Bina, as you're now focused on it, Mason noticed it first, but you're now focused on it, and as you look at this body, you can see. Sorry, are you all moving towards it, or are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As you get closer, you can see that the body is not. it's an Anzalonian body, male, but the most notable thing about the corpse is that the entire chest cavity is fully open, with basically nothing inside.
Oh.
And that's where we're going to go to our break.
Yeah.
It was like he's trying to get us somewhere spooky.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh my
Oh my
Really
God,
puts me in the
obviously,
snacking mood.
because
know.
I have to speak to you. I have words to exchange with you, so.
All right. Well, we're gonna
Oh my
go.
gosh.
We're gonna go to break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes or so. So don't go anywhere. See you soon.
See you on the other side.
Welcome back, everybody. We have returned from our break. Well, when we left off, the crew had touched down on a world with extremely long days and extremely long nights. Touched down kind of just on the dusk side, and following a distress signal from the scrapper ship that was on the trail of Awakener, which they have now found to be a smoking wreck on the surface of the planet. And there is a body not too far away, one whose entire chest cavity is open, and the entire all of the insides mostly gone, completely empty. And that's where we went to break. So, you all are sort of standing around this horrific corpse, that has started to grow like frost over it. So it's kind of been there for. It's clearly been there for a bit. Um, you you kind of glance around. You don't see any other bodies. You don't see anyone else around. Just sort of at a cursory glance. Um, yeah, really the only thing of note right close to you is the wreck itself, and the outskirts of the abandoned city, not too far away.
And this looks. Does it look wildlife? Just circle of life? Or does this look more precise and
Yeah.
intentional?
Um, I'd say that's probably a roll.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mason could do some perception.
yeah.
If you want to take it.
I'd say out of all of you, Mason's probably the best suited to this particular task.
Yep.
Is the person's eyes open? Are their eyes open? Peach
Mhm.
is just gonna go over and like close their eyes.
Yeah. All right. So, Freeman,
yeah.
this is going to be an intellect roll. The difficulty of it is going to be, I'm going to set the difficulty pretty low, but this is sort of another one of those tiered difficulties where I'll give you more information. The more steps you beat the difficulty by, the more information I will give you. So I'm going to set the difficulty at 2 right now.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm trained in perception.
So that drops it down to a 1. So, yeah.
I'm not going to use anything fancy. I think I'm just going to do perception, and then I'm going to use some intellect. Actually, I have edge. I have 2 in my 2 edge in
Okay.
intellect.
All right. So if you go without a roll, you're just gonna get the baseline information. You can still roll if you want to, which is totally fine. And then however much over like that difficulty, I'll like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Would my slight like medical training help in any way?
yeah. Actually, it
Well,
Can I
that's
get
absolutely
cool.
some
would.
encouragement? Or I
Nice.
can just like, aid. And,
Yeah,
you know.
I'd say just you treat you as an asset here. So Freeman,
Okay.
you don't actually have to spend anything.
Okay,
Because
cool. I'll just use my perception because that flavor-wise, at least. I'm going to roll.
go for it.
Please don't get a natural one.
Good luck, good luck.
Okay, all right. Here we go. 15.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
So
a good one.
that's what? That's 3 levels beyond the no.
Beyond initial.
Yeah, it's 3. It's 3
Okay.
levels. Okay, cool. All right. So, between you and Peach, sort of examining this, you can tell right now, just sort of looking at it, that it does.
Does lowering the difficulty make the information you get?
I'm going off of the base difficulty because that's
Okay,
kind of
cool.
what it was.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Just curious.
Mm.
Yeah. So you can tell right away as you go through it, this was not done by a weapon of any kind. Then so I'll give you this. This was not done by a weapon. The most disturbing part of it, I would say, is that you can tell based on the way that like ribs are broken,
Mhm.
that the damage likely, like the chest went out, right? The ribs are broken outwards.
Okay.
And the other piece of information that I'll give you is that this body, taking into account the change in temperature, probably has been here for about 3 days.
3 days. Oh,
Do you, any of you know of anything that could burst out of someone by any chance?
I'm not looking at chat, but I guarantee you there's a whole bunch of alien jokes being told.
yeah.
So yeah.
I'm trying not to make any either. I think as Peach like closes the eyes of this person, can I use? They're dead, so like I can't bring them back. But can I use repair flesh to close their chest again?
Sure.
At least make them presentable.
Yeah, absolutely. I will allow that, assuming that you don't want any other information from this.
I mean, if until I'm sure like
Sure.
Mason's got
I'll say
everything from.
I'll give you that answer that you could probably do that. Yes.
Okay.
Is there anything that with Mason's little chunk, I have a prop for this, can like check for any weirdness on the inside,
Yeah.
like chemical or like
Yeah, and so with that, I will also there is one more piece of information that I need to give you based on your role. So I'll actually just use that as sort of like flavor as you sort of like look a little closer with your thing. As you look kind of at you examine the interior of the chest cavity. The thing that you find really interesting is that there seems to be foreign material inside, and when you're looking at it, it's just sort of this like very fine sort of like almost like little almost like cup like shapes. Very small, like they're probably only like a couple millimeters. But they appear to be made out of some sort of woven substance. Possibly organic. There's many of them, hundreds of them.
Mason does not want to touch anything on the body, especially that part. But if there's a way Mason's going to make a record of that in his terminal or if there's a storage way, if he stores things on this, just so he can have a copy of that information.
Yeah.
Doesn't Mason point this out?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Whatever this is, I think we should at least very least warn everyone else on the ship. Our ship, I mean. Do you have a picture? Maybe I can send to Ada. Maybe she can look into this, what this could be.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'd probably use my wrist computer and just like Ada, content warning, gore, and then kind of and sends it to sends the image to Ada.
Yeah. She just responds with the Ada face emote of just like the astonished face, the like right.
Oh man.
And
8 emojis.
Yeah, 8 emojis.
Once Mason do you think you can get anything else from this? I don't want to leave it like this.
I think that's all I can pick up right at this point.
What are they wearing? Like, is this like someone wearing like scrapper gear, or is this like
possibly?
Like
it looks like the garb of like a spacer of some kind. Yeah.
It's not like they're wearing like a suit or like something strange. Yeah, scrubs. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
General spacer gear.
Turner's kind of like flexes his hand, and then you see like, I think this might be the first time we've seen him use his power since he came back. Now to think about it, there's kind of like unlike the last time he came, where just like a constant wave of energy, it seems like more concentrated like sparks and arcs of electricity that kind of match the color of the swirl. Kind of goes around his hand, and he just places it on the shoulder of this deceased person. And I'm gonna use repair flesh. I think my edge covers it anyway.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So like you just see the energy kind of surge through his hand and into the body. And I mean, do you want to describe how it?
I mean, you watch as basically like the bones just sort of like the ones that were like broken outward just sort of set themselves once again, and you watch as you're essentially watching the reverse process of this happen. It's just like reversing itself as it's sort of like the body putting itself back together essentially until just sort of watching like everything grow back, not even grow back over, it's just sort of like literally pieces coming back together and then fusing into a whole until you see there's just sort of bare chest, completely repaired, and the just tattered clothing that is sort of just spread around. But yeah, the chest cavity once again closed.
Maybe if we can reach out later when we've investigated this and see if people can pick up the bodies. They might have families.
That's a good idea.
You hear Vix. Actually, Bina, you would feel his alertness, his very sudden alertness. Moments before he speaks up, where he says, "I hate to be the we've got company guy, but and
Got company?
you look over and he's pointing in the direction of the city, where you can see what appears to be a light of some kind that wasn't there before. That's sort of vaguely from this distance. You just see the light sort of bobbing.
Do you still have his hand lights on?
Yeah, he would have still had his. Yeah.
Can I like slap his hands and take it away?
Uh-huh.
From him?
What? Yeah. I mean, he just. Oh, yeah. Sorry. He's just very.
Actually,
Sudden.
we've done it before where I can do the inverse of
Right,
power
yeah.
to make it dimmer. If I can like, if I can be like, no, and then
Yeah. And
dim
he just
it
goes,
down.
"What? Wait, you can do that? Never mind." And then he just.
How far are they? Like,
Yeah.
It's hard to tell because you don't know what the size of the light that you're looking at.
Yeah.
But
Can I,
yeah.
to my limit, can I feel anyone yet?
No, you
Okay.
can't.
So they are a decent
Mhm.
distance away, as far as we can tell.
Yeah.
I just also I don't feel a void of emotion anywhere, do I?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to check.
Yeah. Vix just points and says, "Whatever it is, it looks like it's getting closer, moving towards us. Do we stay here or what? I mean, what do we do?"
There's
we
a
need to.
chance that whatever happened to our friend here might have been involved with that.
We need to get a black box for Ida, right?
Yeah.
So let's go as quick as we can.
I mean, if they're headed this way, they'll still be headed this way if we're going to the ship.
Just because I don't remember what I said, I'm just going to give additional details or maybe just rehash details depending on what I've already told you. But the light that you see kind of in the distance is just a sort of like red light. It definitely does not look like... It doesn't look organic, but it's hard to say. But yeah, it's just sort of a red light, not particularly bright, but in the darkness and in the absence of any other light around, it stands out.
Okay.
Which I'm sure we did when we.
Yeah.
I'd say let's try to move from here and towards the ship. And keep in mind that there's a chance that there's something out here that originated in that poor fellow's chest.
Yeah.
All right. So you move towards the wreckage, and the good thing is that you can do that while still keeping an eye on the light because you're moving. Like the ship is in the direction that the light is coming from. So essentially, just to give you an idea of orientation here, so you've got like the solar flyer where it landed, then there's the wreckage, and then beyond that is the city. The light appears to be coming from the direction of the city. Maybe not the city itself, but at least from that direction.
Again, I think I would have told Ada, like, hey, there's possibly someone coming towards you.
Yeah.
So just heads up.
Be like ready to get away.
Keep the doors locked, like
Yeah.
trap lights.
All right. You make your way towards the ship itself, and as you do, you can see it's not a particularly large ship. It is frankly probably the size, about of comparable size to the solar flyer. It's not very large. Probably wouldn't take you that long to search it. But there are parts of it that clearly seem to still be like you can see where as you draw up level to it, you can see where there's exposed wiring that is just sort of sparking dangerously in some parts of the ship. You can hear Bina, like this would be very obvious to you. You can hear an electrical hum, which says to you that something is still charged, and you have no way of knowing if it's charging any part of the ship itself. It could be exposed wiring that is like charging some of the like deck plates, which would be extremely hazardous to touch without knowing if they are electrified. you can also see where there's clearly still some part of the ship that is burning. As you get close, you can smell it. You can smell like the smell of like the scent of burning synthetics. It's it is.
Do I feel anyone inside? I feel like that's
No.
doubtful right now, but okay. Can I take I'll point out that to people like, hey, mechanic says but I want to take a second and see if I can parse like exposed wire. Like if I have like I brought my tool, like she brings your tools everywhere. If there are things that I can close circuits, move things, try to find out where all of the dangers to us are, and see if I can either not repair, but like disengage or make them null so that we can move more
Sure.
freely. I know it'll take time, but like I feel like we need to go through this. So
Yeah.
if I can kind of just take a mechanic's eye and also my weird superpower eyes and try to find
Look
all
with
of
your
the
special eyes.
look with my special Orzai eyes. My Orzai eyes. I'm gonna go through.
What do your Orzai see?
Damn it.
I
was
just wanna
right
move through
there.
and try to find all of the any pieces that I can make null and void.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead, and I think first we're gonna have you just make a quick a sort of appraisal of this situation.
Yes.
So I'm gonna have you make a roll. Intellect. The difficulty of this is going to be. I'm gonna say the difficulty of this is gonna be 4.
Cool.
Do you need to roll?
Probably not.
Probably
Mechanic,
not. Yeah. That's
that's 2. My eyes.
Yeah, you're good.
Fine.
Yeah. So you just fully bypass the whole thing. Do you want to roll anyway?
No.
Okay. Cool.
Now we're gonna try it.
Kaylee's like absolutely not.
No.
That's good.
Okay.
I rolled a 1 last time I did that, so no. Maybe
Oh, I
next
know.
time.
I know.
Probably would. I feel like in this circumstance, you definitely would have rolled a 1.
Yeah.
So you take a quick look around. It's easy for you to figure out which parts, based on what you're seeing, which parts of the ship are like being electrified. Not hard to figure out where you can sort of disconnect certain cables. You can tell exactly like where the wow, words are hard.
Yeah. I know.
Where the contact point is that's electrifying the pieces of the ship that in question, and you can pretty easily just sort of reach up and just totally sever the connection. It's not hard to do. The other thing that I
Closing
will
circuits, cutting
Yeah,
connections, and
exactly.
like dampening
Yeah.
exposed wires.
it's pretty easy to do, at least sort of in your immediate area. The other thing that I will tell you though is that as you're getting a look at the hull of the wreck, you're starting to see in some places across the hull where there's carbon scoring from weapons fire. It definitely is starting to look like this ship was shot down.
Yeah.
Taeyeon, did Ada mention where a black box would be located on a ship?
I would
Or
know,
if
probably.
Bina would know
Bina
that
would
probably
know.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think Ada would really know it. She's more like the
That's
Yeah.
true.
software.
Yeah.
Software.
Bina's the
we got the
hardware.
Okay,
we got
Bina.
the software Orzai and
Like
the
you
hardware.
you get the black box to Ada Spriggs and she will tear that shit apart. But ask her to find it.
Yeah.
He'd Google it.
Fair.
Yeah. So so Bina, you sort of with some difficulty sort of managed to sort of move through the ship that is almost fully like at sort of a 90-degree angle basically. So you're moving through the hallways, like walking on the walls basically, on what would have been the walls of the corridors, towards the bridge. And as you move in that direction, you actually reach the bridge, which is surprisingly like well preserved. It looks like it's still pretty intact. It did not nose dive into the planet. Whoever landed this thing managed to get it into somewhat of a controlled fall. So yeah, not an easy feat given the damage that you see that probably was done before the ship hit Atmo. So as you make your way there, you kind of get in under the consoles. Not hard to do, especially at this angle, because you're literally just normally you would have to like get underneath on your back and like get underneath, but you don't have to do that this time.
Sorry, question
mhm.
really quick. From what I've seen and how we've moved through this, does it appear to me as if anyone else has scavenged this or tried to parse this crash? Like, did we move through spaces that would have not been, you wouldn't have been able to go through without disabling things, or would I not know?
It doesn't look like it's been scavenged for parts, if that's what you
But
mean.
just like investigate it. Like someone's been through here. Like is the black box gonna already be gone? Like that's kind of what I'm trying to like. Did someone already look through this to find out what happened?
Not in any way that feels obvious to you.
Cool. Okay, that's fine.
But it's almost impossible. It would be almost impossible to tell. The place is a huge mess. Like
That's
it's.
what
Yeah. Huh.
But you sort of reach underneath, and you can actually see on the console the flashing light where the distress beacon is being triggered from. You're looking at the distress beacon right now.
Am I familiar with this type of ship? This type of scrapper?
Yeah, this is a pretty common vessel.
So would I know? Upon crash, would the distress signal auto start up?
Yes. However, I will also give you this based on, I'll kind of let you ride your sort of appraisal from before. There's no way that any of this ship's long-range transmission equipment would be functional after this. Like, in the shape that it's in, there's no way.
So, basically what I'm trying to figure out is, did someone come in who did this ship crash, and then someone came in and is looking for the beacon? Like, someone set up the beacon.
It looks like the beacon would have had to have been set up because
Post-crash.
because by default,
Yeah.
there is no way that this beacon would be transmitting.
Got it. Okay, that's what I thought.
Mhm.
So either post-crash, the people who are aboard this vessel lived and then came back to set up a beacon, or the people who crashed let it just be and someone else came and set up the beacon. Thinking pointedly to the red light I saw approaching us. So
I can try and make sure that they can't see us.
I don't know.
Vina, do you need? I think you're kind of got this
I'm good.
under
Yeah, I'm gonna
your
move
wraps.
forward with my black.
Yeah,
box
I'm gonna
removal.
go kind of back out near the exit, and I'm gonna kind of do Dreamcraft and basically make the space look like no one's there. Like it's the same as it was when we got there.
Okay.
Like there's no.
I am gonna have you make a roll.
Okay.
So this is going to be a difficulty 3.
Okay.
Yeah, intellect. I'm gonna say.
Okay. So the dream normally only lasts for 1 minute, but I want to spend and make that last longer.
Okay. How long and you want to make it last?
Bina, how long do we need?
Do I need to get this box out?
This could.
Removing a black box is not difficult, but I will say, okay, before you do what you're doing, which is what I was trying to get to before, is you're looking under the under the consoles.
We never finished what I had asked a question, then we never.
So sorry.
Continue.
That's
my bad.
You look under the consoles. The panel where the black box would be housed is open, and it is very clearly empty.
That's what I thought. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. So the time is 0, and I think we need to go talk to whoever's approaching us.
Oh.
Are there any other computer systems in here, or is the black box just houses everything? If that's removed, everything becomes inert.
Like anything that's going to be useful to you would be in there, like sensor data, all that sort of stuff stored there.
Cool. So there probably isn't anything here that is of use.
Probably not. I mean, like you might be able to get something, but it's not going to be like what's useful to you, what you most need.
Can I search for ciphers?
There you go.
On the way out of the burning wreckage.
We always forget.
This will be the place. This is the place to do it.
Also,
Yeah.
search. Okay.
Hold on.
Ooh, are we all
I'm gonna have
looking?
Okay, for the sake of time.
Yes.
Sorry.
I was teasing. I'm not.
So-
I can't hold anymore.
Let's see.
I've only got 1.
I think.
I don't have any. I can hold 2.
So go ahead. Actually, Caitlin, I don't even know if you need to roll for this. Yeah, no, you definitely don't need to roll. So yeah, it was a task that was like a difficulty of 3 or 4 is what it suggests to find them, but you don't need to do that. So yeah, you just sort of like glance around and immediately you're able to find something interesting. I'm gonna have you go ahead and just roll a D percentile for me.
$22.
Interesting. I don't know what that is, but that's
Ooh, love that.
I can't even guess based on the name. Oh Jesus. Okay. So where is it? Oh, there we go. Hold on. Is this the right table? Yeah, this is the right table. Okay.
I like the image of us like scanning the floor as we're walking through the burning wreckage.
That's
We
interesting.
haven't done it in forever, and like I said, we should look for more of them. So
Yeah.
Perfect.
I never feel like we're in a
Perfect
place where I can look for ciphers. Like it's always
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
we're
Uh,
in someone else's base.
Go
Like,
ahead
we're
and
away
go ahead
there.
and roll another percentile for me.
Oh.
Another D100.
Cool. Oh. Oop, dropping dice everywhere. 76.
Oh my god. Okay.
Ooh, that's a
Interesting.
good reaction.
So you find just sort of there's like a box, like a crate that sort of has a bunch of like scattered scattered material. And as you're sort of like making your way kind of back out of the ship, you pass it again, and as you just sort of give a quick look at it, you see that there's like a bunch of broken vials and things like that, syringes and stuff like that, medical equipment, some of it looks like, but in there you actually find an adrenal. It is a just sort of like a syringer, basically, just sort of like just basically like an injection gun, essentially.
EpiPen.
Yeah. That this will increase your speed edge by 1 for 1 hour.
Ooh.
Oh.
Cool.
So yeah.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going somewhere in a hurry, huh?
Drac, you said that you were looking as well, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make you. Actually, no, I am gonna make you roll to find. So this is an intellect roll. The difficulty is 3.
Oh, okay. Do I have anything that can help with it? No, I don't. I'm not gonna roll for it. I'm just gonna
All right, so you
test
just
my
need a
luck.
9 or
So just
better.
got 3. 10.
Okay. All right, go ahead and roll a D100 for me.
That is a 63.
63. What is that? Okay, hold on.
Love that. Love that.
Hold on. Oh, that's incredible. Okay. So, go ahead and roll another D100 for me.
I've got rolled a 63 again.
Okay, all right. So, oh my god. Okay, you find a detonator. This is a fire detonator. It's basically like a. Actually, also go ahead and roll. Give me 1d6 plus 2.
1d6. A 5.
Okay, so this
plus
is a
2
level.
7?
This is a 7.
You said plus 5, right? And
Yeah,
plus 2,
2.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 7.
This is a level 7 Cypher. So essentially, you basically have a level 7 flame grenade, like fire grenade, like an incendiary grenade. Essentially, is what you have. Yeah.
Yes.
This is. Actually, it's
Okay.
not even a grenade. No. I just realized it's not that at all. It's a. Yeah. No. This would be actually more of like a projector. So not like a flamethrower, but like essentially like it just it functions it's sort of like a like flame displacement. So it like literally displaces, like it creates the flame, like the flame burst, and it will displaces it up to a long distance away. It bursts in an immediate radius, basically blinding everyone within it for 1 minute and inflicting damage equal to the Cypher's level. So,
Whoa.
yeah,
Wait, and what level was it?
it's level
7.
7. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Insane.
Wait, what
Wow,
page is that
okay.
on?
This is on page 349. It's the detonation, and the spawn detonation. Yeah.
Sounds gnarly.
Yeah. So it gives you more. There's more information about it in there, but yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I think telling me like piece, I'm like, oh, I remember we have a little. I mean, it's newer. This is like a later model of one we had back on the base in my time. I wonder how good this would be here. And he's like clips onto his belt.
Yeah.
Probably still explodes.
Yeah.
I'd hope so.
Yeah.
I
would say at this point, as you are just kind of like making your way out of the wreckage, Bina, by the time you get out of it, you suddenly start to feel a presence.
And what, pray tell, are they feeling?
Caution.
Yeah, understandable. Me too.
Yeah.
Caution, nervousness, verging on fear.
Okay.
Actually, the more you focus, the more you realize there's actually a couple of different people. It seems like.
Bina will stop everyone kind of before we step out, and we'll be like, I can't pinpoint the number, right? Just a handful.
I would say.
Or does it feel like a lot?
It doesn't feel like a lot. It feels like maybe. I think there's a small enough number of them that you'd be able to tell that it's about 3 people.
Are we in short range with them as we get closer?
So
would you
here's
say?
where we're
I
at.
stopped us before we've left.
Here's where
Okay.
we're at. So like I assume that Mason and Peach, who were not really participating in anything that was happening inside the ship, the 2 of you were keeping an eye on the light that was moving closer, so you would have seen them getting
That's
closer.
a good thought.
Yeah, you would have seen them approaching. And it would have become pretty obvious to you before too long that it was a small group of people moving towards you. So
Yeah, I think Bina would just be like, there are 3 of them, and they are nervous. That could make them dangerous, or they could just be scared. And that's the info she gives to Mason before we go out.
Well, then be prepared for an encounter, but let's not lead with that.
Maybe they're friendly.
Could be. It could be.
This is their ship.
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So, what do y'all do?
I want to read their surface thoughts.
Okay.
Solid.
Perfect. You immediately pick up a voice, like a woman's voice in your head. You hear the sound. You hear the sound of the voice saying, sort of in your mind as thoughts wave through your mind, like maybe somebody can finally get us off this rock. Have to make sure they're not dangerous, and if they won't take us, well, we'll find a way off. Yeah.
So I assume like this is before we've gone out. Like we're about to go out when this is happening.
You hear that, and before long, like immediately after that, you actually hear actual voices. Pretty surprisingly close by. It actually surprises you how close they are when you hear them. It also makes you realize just how silent everything else has been. And you hear that same voice say, "All right, stay on your toes. We don't know who they are. We don't know what they want or why they came here. Just."
Can I say hi? Can I say hi to them?
Yeah, they don't seem too dangerous. I think they're trapped on this planet.
Yeah.
Mason, there's something familiar about that voice.
Is there?
You can't,
Okay.
you
Go say
can't
hi.
place it, but there's you know that voice.
Something familiar about that voice.
Are we all ready?
Did you have? Should we step out?
And I'll walk
No,
out.
I think maybe don't. I think first. I think we don't. Step
Oh,
out,
okay.
I think we just. Hello.
You hear the footsteps that you were hearing. You hear them stop, like crunching in the frost-covered ground. You hear them stop. Alarm, and suddenly, basically they're on alert right now.
Yeah. Is this your distress signal? We tried to call, but no one picked up. Sorry, we're not coming out. I don't know if you have weapons.
There's a long pause, and then.
Perfect.
And then. Who are you? What do you want? Why'd you come here?
Because we got your distress signal. And also we were hoping that maybe you had information that you would be willing to share with us if we could help you. I'm gonna come out, is that okay?
No weapons, please.
Okay.
Please.
Bina, I'm gonna have you make a roll.
Yay!
Yes.
Cool.
All
I
right.
love this.
Intellect
I
roll
have
difficulty.
4 hands, I'll put
Man.
them all out the door
Yeah,
first
difficult-
if that would make you feel
The
better.
difficulty on this roll is 3. Difficulty on this roll is 3.
Okay.
That was a perfect interaction.
So sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Social interactions, pleasant or otherwise.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
Somehow both.
Does me being able, like, with knowing their emotional state help at all here?
No, I don't think it's gonna really
Okay.
come into play.
That's fine.
Mhm.
And I get I have a free point of edge. Edge eats 1.
Okay, so you're down to a
Um,
difficulty 1 right now.
I'm just gonna roll that.
Okay, 3 or better is all you need.
Okay, where are any of my dice? I don't know where any of my d20s are.
Who needs them?
I do.
The elusive D20s.
No, usually they're the ones that are easiest to find. Here we go. Let's do this guy. I could spend, but it's more fun to just.
Mhm.
Yeah, how else can we get a GM intrusion?
Right, yeah, obviously.
17.
17. Okay, cool. You just hear, yeah, come out slowly.
Okay, I'm gonna put out the door. They see 1, 2, 3, 4 hands, and then she peeks up behind it a little bit.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Hi.
You see,
There are 3 of you, and there are 4 of us here. We're not gonna hurt you.
There are 5 of us.
There are 5 of. Sorry, I forgot Vix was with us. I was counting players. There are 5 of us, and we don't want to hurt you. Hi, I'm Bina Oba." And so she's like halfway out the door with her hands up first.
You see a Keldra woman, remarkably short for Keldra woman, sort of stocky of build, but like probably only about maybe like 5'8" or so, just sort of standing. Her hair is braided down, kind of tightly, sort of down over one shoulder. In one hand, she's holding what looks like an emergency lantern, the source of the red light that you're seeing. And in the other hand, she is holding what looks like maybe some part of a pipe.
Understandable.
The other 2 individuals, both of them are human. There's a man and a woman. One of them has a pistol. The woman has the pistol, is like holding it kind of pointed like out but down.
Not at the ready.
Yeah. So the Keldra woman who appears kind of at the front of the 3 just sort of looks at you and she says, "Why don't you all come out and we'll just have a nice chat? How's that?"
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
Mason.
mean, that's-
Mason.
I look
Well,
back.
why we're here? We're gonna walk out.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll walk out as well.
Like we're here to help you. No need to be aggressive.
You all sort of step out, and as she looks across at each of you, her gaze falls on you, Mason, and she goes, "No shit. And as you look at her, kind of looking past, kind of squinting past the light, she moves it out of the way, and you recognize someone that you have not seen in a very long time. You recognize Cade, your childhood best friend.
Cade.
What's the matter? Couldn't find any more causes to attach yourself to?
They keep finding me, unfortunately.
She hands the lantern off to the woman holding the pistol, and she just walks forward, just kind of steps up and looks up at you and just shakes her head, and just says, "Huh, you grew a beard."
Yep, you look terrible too.
Yeah. And she just sort of just gives you a big hug. She steps back. She goes, well, she looks back behind her, says, "You can put those down. It's fine."
I knew they'd be friends.
I think you were very actually spot on with that.
She crosses her arms, pipe kind of over one shoulder. She goes, "So, what the hell are you doing out here, Frey?"
This ship. Or something on this ship.
Our ship?
Is this your ship?
Yeah, well,
Oh my
it
god,
was.
maybe you can. Well, clearly, I can't fix that.
Good to know you guys got out in one piece.
Most of us did. She
Yeah.
looks across at all of you. Says,
We saw one of your crew members, I assume.
she kind of looks over her shoulder. The man looks at her and goes, "Huh, that's where he went." And she goes, I take it he didn't make it?"
You don't know?
No, we sent him back to a few days ago to try to scavenge any additional supplies now that the ship has mostly burned itself out, and he never came back. Only reason we're out here at all is because we got a ping that there was a ship entering Atmo. Decided to come check it out, see if we could find a way off planet.
Yes, we have that for you. I have a lot of questions. First of all, what happened to your black box?
Look, we don't actually have time for this. It's not a good idea for us to stand out here in the open.
What happened to your black box?
She looks at you, Bina, and then looks at you, Mason. She says, We removed it. It's back where we've all holed up, where the rest of my crew are holed up.
How many of you are there?
How many people will fit on our ship?
She
We
just
got a
sort of-
little guy.
She you can see that her instinct is to be suspicious, and she looks at you, Mason, and she says,
Okay.
"All right. There's 3 more of us back at the back hold up.
Do you have communication with them?
Not so much.
Okay.
Most of our terminals were damaged in electrical discharge on the way down."
Makes sense.
I mean, we can walk and talk because there's definitely some things we probably should talk about.
Yeah,
absolutely.
like maybe not getting. All right, look, we've got to go. We can't. It's not good to be out here in the open.
The wildlife.
Yeah, lead the way,
Not quite.
please. What?
There's something out here. Something out here on this planet. We didn't see it. Just heard it. There were a lot more of us. It took some of us when we tried to get to the city. When we tried to make a break for the city.
Is there a place near where you're staying that I could land a ship on?
Probably, but
Would that be safer?
no. She says,
Okay.
whatever it is, it seems to be attracted to light. In fact, I'm not sure
Of
that.
course.
She says, this is the only. She holds up the lantern, the emergency lantern. She says, this seems to be the only thing that, the only way that we've been able to see without it coming for us.
Red light.
Hmm.
Bina's hands start to illuminate a little bit,
Mhm.
and she squints for a second, and then they glow red.
Yeah, she just sort of
Nice.
steps back and goes, okay, well, she says, look, you can have the black box and all the data, but I need me and my crew safely evacuated from the planet.
It'll be crowded,
Sure. Yeah.
but we got you.
Okay. She says,
Mason's gonna send a quick update to the ship as to what we're doing.
mm-hmm. All right. She says, all right. She says, I'll lead you back to where the rest of my crew is. But these two, I want them safe.
You wouldn't want the ship now?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
put them with everybody. Vix, do you want to take them back to the ship?
Vix goes, sure, I will do that. He says,
Do you want to come with us instead?
feels like you. This feels like you want me to say no. So
No, I'm just asking you what you want to do.
he goes, I'll take him back to the ship. He says, I'll take the next one. And he says, all right, come along with me, everybody. Keep your arms and legs inside the tour bus at all times. Let's go. And
She holds up one of her hands and she says, "Can you do it like this?"
he looks at his hands and just says, and you watch as he kind of like screws up his face, really concentrating, and you watch as it sort of vaguely shifts more in kind of the orange spectrum, and then just sort of shifts
Okay,
back.
keep it dark.
He says,
Keep it dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
No.
just maybe not risk it.
Be a good host, Vix.
Always, I learn from the best. And he nods.
That was also code for keep an eye on them.
Yeah. Yeah. He you watch as Cade takes the lantern, hands it to the man, and says, "I'll be back soon." He nods, kind of still giving everybody this just like suspicious look, and the three of them make their way back towards the ship.
I'm gonna message Jade and tell him to put the ship on lock the ability takeoff.
Okay,
So
sounds
that
good.
I don't think we have a key for this necessarily, but some sort of put it in lock until we can all get back, just in case.
All right. So, you begin walking across the barren landscape towards the city's outskirts, and Cade just says, looks at you, Mason, and just says, "It's pretty nasty out down here. Kind of understand why they left. It was fine for the first couple of days, just because when we crashed, we were still on the daylight side of the divide. But a couple weeks pass, and well, here we are, nighttime for who knows how long. This thing, whatever it is, it seems to prefer night."
And what is this about? So is this the same thing that's bursting itself out of bodies?
Doing what? What are you talking about?
Look, I don't want to upset you, but when we first found the first body we found, the chest cavity had been blown out from the inside.
Okay.
So,
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen anything like that. Mostly whenever we've had run-ins with whatever it is, it just sort of swoops down on us and grabs somebody. The thing can fly.
oh well, that's Mason kind of looks up instinctively around him. Great,
Yeah.
that red light works.
Well, all we know is it attacked us when we were using our regular lights, and haven't had an attack since we started using this. So,
Mason's like making notes as they walk about from in the same file of like whatever burst out of this person and all that stuff. It's just adding, okay, can fly, something that can fly, perhaps has sensitivity or a low level, can't see certain light.
Yeah, you make your. She looks at you and says, "Look, I have a lot of questions for you, and we have some catching up to do. But for now, I suggest we stay quiet until we get where we're going."
I kind of just tip my hat in understanding.
You begin making your way across this barren landscape towards the city. When you arrive on the outskirts of the city, you can see these towering structures that just sort of rise high up into the air. You can see where some of them, their age has started to get to them, and you can see where like there are parts of them that are kind of crumbling in places. Just these colossal skyscrapers that just sort of reaching for the sky, and in some cases worryingly like sort of skewed. You can tell that this place was probably a heavily populated mega center of some kind at one point, where you can see the buildings themselves connected by an intricate path of skywalks. But as you make your way forward, you can see there is a building that you start making your way towards, just right on the edge of the city. And Cade glances over at you and just sort of points towards the door, and starts moving a bit more purposefully in that direction. As she does, you see the door sort of cracks slightly open, even from this distance. Bina, and through the darkness, you see just a face slightly peek out, and then the door opens completely. Cade sort of moves the rest of the way up, and as you all sort of arrive at the entrance to this building, you hear sort of a whispered exchange quickly, just like, "What happened? What's going on?" Like, "Come on, get your shit. We're going. We're moving. We're getting off planet." "Really? Did somebody come to rescue us?" "Look, I'll explain later. We gotta go. We gotta move right now." You see, a few curious expressions looking in your direction. Cade just says, "Get everything. Just whatever you can carry. We gotta go."
I need your black box, please, and thank you. She kind of says, peeks over the shoulder.
Yeah. All right. So you make your way in, sort of watching as the remaining crew start kind of gathering stuff up. One of mostly they tend to be sort of a mix of like Keldro or Terran, but there's one of their crew who is very bizarre in appearance to you. Not that those of you who have traveled significantly probably have seen them before, but very rarely. You see a large creature, an individual probably standing probably about 7 feet tall, with almost sort of with sort of a crustacean-like appearance, sort of upper body with sort of with two limbs, sort of two forelimbs with sort of articulated fingers, and four sort of almost crab-like legs supporting the low-slung body. This is a Cradian. Cradians are a species who tend to keep towards their region of space. They have been invited in the past to join the Ascendancy and politely declined. They are they tend to stick pretty close to home, so you don't tend to see too many of them around very often, but outside of their own space. But yeah, here, sure enough, you see this figure that's just sort of watching all of you very intently as you approach. Yeah, Bina, you feel a mix of emotions. Most of them are neutral, but there's sort of an appraisal happening of your group. You can tell that much.
Is everyone like are these people like freaked out?
Yes, everybody except for the Cradian. The Cradian appears to just be sort of taking everything in, just sort of alert.
I don't. Bina hasn't done this since like Sulan, I don't think. But she's gonna try to like. We have a lot of people to move. They're scared. We're in a scary place. They're confused. This is new. There's also some sort of freaky creature, and we all need to be quiet. So she's gonna try to do a group aura of like calm.
Okay. Yeah.
Just like hey, and just kind of like mentally take the edge off.
Yeah.
Everybody.
What is your what's your intellect edge right now?
3.
Okay, so I'm gonna give an additional cost for the
Yes,
sake of
I
so
think I had
it's
to spend last time too.
yeah, but I think your edge has changed since then. So I think it's only it's gonna be a total cost of 4. So you just need to spend 1.
Cool.
Your edge eats most of that.
Done.
Okay. So yeah, you immediately you sort of feel the atmosphere sort of change, as a few of them sort of like a little bit less tense and still moving, with purpose and quickly, but they seems to be more with efficiency now than just panic. Before long, they've gathered things up and have started to make their way out of the building.
Has anyone pointed out the black box to me?
Yeah.
No, at this point you would see that Cade just is holding it, and she says,
If you want, you can hang on to it till we get there, if that would make you feel more like a trade.
"It definitely would." And she
Okay.
she stuffs it into
Yeah.
her bag.
Just wanted to get eyes on it.
Yeah. Cade says, "All right, I think we're ready. Let's get out of here."
Everybody have everything?
Everybody kind of nods. Yeah.
I'm gonna ping the ship again to. I think we've been keeping them posted, but just like, okay, on our way back, ETA this so that they know to keep.
Okay.
Just keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do I get a response, by the way?
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
important.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Just
Do
wanna-
you get do you get an Ada mode?
that would be the true sign of our we're good. Everything's
Right,
good in
yeah,
the ship.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
we get an 8 emoji back.
Mhm.
Mason,
Mhm.
as you're standing here, sort of watching them all kind of like leaving the building, and you all start going on your way, you sort of see movement just sort of flitting around your face, some sort of small insect or something like that flitting around your face, and you just sort of away, and then another one, and as you sort of like bat away, you can see that as you kind of take a step back, you see that you can hear this sort of sudden sort of fluttering sound, and as you look up, you can see that the air above you is thick with what looks like moth-like insects that are just sort of swarming the area.
Maybe we hunker down here.
Uh,
Is there any way that Mason could get a look at one of them?
Sure. Go ahead and give me. This is gonna be an. I'm gonna say this is
Nervous.
an intellect roll. The difficulty on this is going to be. The difficulty on this is going to be 3.
Would it be too goofy to use my eyeglass as a helper
As an asset? No, absolutely not. You
Asset?
can totally do that.
Yeah.
asset?
Yeah.
I think
Perception.
you have to.
Perception? I know I have to.
Yep. So that brings it down 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're at difficulty 1 right now.
I'm just gonna go with a 3 or better at this point because I'm excited.
All right.
Roll a 5.
5.
There you
Okay.
go.
Cool.
3 or better.
Well, that's
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
certainly
yeah.
much better. You take a look, and they do appear to be moths, or very similar to very moth adjacent. They are
Fancy.
roughly about the size of Mason's thumb. and sort of with a slightly larger wingspan than you would expect from like a moth of that size. But yeah, they do appear to be just sort of swarming moths.
But not attacking us. Yeah.
No, but they are getting like they're sort of above you, but you can see the swarm is sort of lowering, kind of reaching, kind of coming to your sort of level, basically.
how do the people who have been here on this planet look?
how
Like,
they-
is this a sign
Oh, they are
of
freaking out. You can as you start looking to the other ones, one of them goes, "Oh God, it's here! It's here!"
It?
I'm gonna try to quickly do a dreamcraft to make like totally dark, like no
So-
one is here.
Before you do that,
Okay.
I actually need
Yeah.
Taeon
Boy.
to make a speed defense roll.
No.
The difficulty on
Speed.
this is going to be
Okay.
the difficulty on this is going to be 5.
Okay. Well, I'm trained in speed defense rolls.
Okay, so that brings it down to a 4.
That's it.
You can spend.
Yeah, I want to spend some effort. I got a speed edge of 2, so I'll do 2 levels of effort.
Okay, so
That'll drop me down to 2. So I would have spent 3 with my 2 edge.
okay,
Right? Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
So 2 or better.
yeah. Or sorry, it's a difficulty 2 now, so you need a 6 or better. Is that right?
6 or better. Yeah.
Yeah, 6 or better.
Yeah. 8.
Okay, so
So
you
close.
feel sort of a shifting in the air as you sort of looking around, and you just at the last second you catch sight of something just emerge from the darkness, something large and winged that just sort of flies towards you, and as you duck, you just narrowly avoid a wing swipe at you. It's just this sort of these insect-like wings that swipe past you. You like, for flavor, I'm just gonna say you just sort of displace yourself. You're just very suddenly standing like a few feet over, sort of reflexively using your powers to just sort of move yourself out of the way of this swipe. And as you do so, you can see. I'm gonna have you make a quick perception here. I'm gonna have you make this is a difficulty.
Oh my gosh.
It actually isn't. So it's not hiding anymore. So this is actually much lower difficulty now. Difficulty is let's put the difficulty at 3. Right. This is intellect. The difficulty is 3.
I'm just gonna roll it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna spend anything. I'm just gonna go
All right.
for
You
it.
just need a 9 or better.
My luck's been pretty good. 16.
Okay, as you sideswipe it, or as you just sort of like sidestep this swipe, you glance over and catch a glimpse of an enormous moth-like humanoid. Its proboscis extended. You see this huge wingspan. As it kind of has its taloned feet. Insectoid feet just sort of clutched and like brings them back up to its chest, almost like the way that a bird like a bird of prey would reach down and grab with his talons, like that, pulls them back in and flutters up into the darkness, and vanishes.
Oh boy. Like Vic said, I don't mean to be the we have company guy, but
Cade looks at you, Mason goes, "Run!" And just starts sprinting back towards the ship.
Oh my god.
Okay. Mason's just like, but
We're just running at this
it's
point.
running. Yeah.
Glad you're okay,
I don't-
Taeyeon.
I don't run right. I don't run yet.
Mhm.
Bina doesn't run right away
Okay.
What? Okay.
because
oh boy.
this thing likes light
Hmm.
and follows light, facing the direction of the city, which is the opposite of our ship. Correct?
Yeah.
She's going to kind of like make her hands glow really bright, just normal yellow, white, bright light, and she's gonna be like, oh, I fucking hope this works. And she's gonna throw it as far as she can. And here's what fucking happens, because I can do this now. A mote of light travels from you to a spot within 100 feet. It reaches that spot and flares and casts a bright light within 200 feet and
Yes.
darkness within 1,000 feet. The mote becomes a dim light and lasts for an hour or until I dismiss it. But I want to get a big light in the opposite direction of us and hope that that's what it likes more than people. I don't know, but it's a big goddamn, it's a little star
I love it.
Yeah.
up in the air,
I
in
love
the
it.
opposite direction of us. And then she's gonna run. Oh my god, my leg!
It really happened. It happened. It really happened.
Man,
mess-
tearing up, really. It's-
Oh my
Manifested
God.
the light in real life.
That's incredible.
Oh my god, whoa. Okay. Caitlin,
okay.
I didn't know you were that good at role. Whoa.
That's very method of you.
Yeah.
So
That's what I'm
Bina,
doing.
you look out in the direction of the city, and you kind of stand there as these moths just sort of swirl around you, and you sort of like
she glows fully, and then it like suddenly like condenses into her hands.
yeah. So you watch as Bina basically just sort of like glowing fully head to toe from the inside for just a brief second, a bright blinding flash of Bina just glowing, and then you watch as that glow recedes from her extremities and concentrates in her hands, and into a tiny concentrated ball, which then just sort of she reaches out, and it vanishes from where she is, from her hand, and you watch as it just streaks through the air into the distance, and you watch as it just sort of goes. A few of the moths sort of trail after it. You watch as some of the swarm just trail after this glowing orb that just sort of goes off into the distance. And as soon as you see it reach its point, it goes out and then suddenly bursts in this brilliant, blinding light. You can see what looks like it looks like a small sun has just suddenly appeared over the city itself, illuminating everything around it. You can see it reflecting off the skyscrapers, off of the buildings itself. And almost immediately, you watch the swarm that just sort of was swirling in your area, almost congesting the air around you, just vanish as you see a cloud that darkens this mote of light, a cloud of hundreds of thousands of moths just flying towards this light. And in and amongst them, you can see a larger shape, a much larger shape, at the center of the swarm that just sort of rushes out towards this miniature star, now suddenly in the air above the city.
And then Bina's booking it as fast as her little legs will take her.
Yeah. There's this
Caitlin was
moment.
like, oh my god, wait, was that the thing? Did she do the thing?
There's
She
this
did the
moment
thing.
as you stand there just sort of looking at it, and then you kind of stepping away, and then you just turn and fully start sprinting after everybody else.
That's new.
This is out of character. I genuinely didn't know if I would ever find an excuse to use that in our first battle. Yay!
Yeah.
And I'm
Amazing.
gonna this light is so much. Right
Yeah. So yeah, in the distance, as you run across the land, across the open, barren landscape between the city and the solar flyer, in the distance, you can see around this enormous flare of light. Even from this distance, you can see that swarm that's just sort of circling that thing. And amongst them, every once in a while, you can see a much larger, darker shape. As you reach the base of the loading ramp to the solar flyer, you step inside and take one last look back, seeing that orb there, a brilliant mote of light in the once dark sky, as if a star from the space had lowered itself down to the planet. You step inside the solar flyer, and immediately you feel the ship sort of start to rumble, and you hear Jade come in over the comm, says, "Everybody on board? Can we go?"
Punch it.
Please.
Roger.
There's that lurching sensation as the ship takes off, as the loading ramp is closing. The last image that you see of the planet's surface before the loading ramp closes completely is an aerial view of the city with that mote of light still out there. And as you get further and further away, you watch Bina as you slowly lose your ability, your control over it, and it just sort of slowly dims and vanishes into the darkness. The city once again obscured by the night. And I think that's where we're going to call tonight's episode.
Yes! Oh my
That was so sick.
It just magic. I think that's what we learned today.
Mm-hmm.
That was extremely fun.
That
Sorry about your combat, Luke.
Oh,
such a good use
I
of
definitely
that
was.
light.
This creature is not built for combat. So like, yeah.
If you weren't going to do that, I had a way to do it as well, and it wasn't going to be combat as well.
Oh my god.
What a fun episode.
Absolutely.
That was a really good one, guys.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
This episode, we learned that Doom timelines exist.
Yeah.
And Caitlin is Bina, IRL.
Going here.
Absolutely.
Caitlin actually has light powers.
Listen,
And this is actually a documentary. Of
this was just my attempt to give Zach from It Came From the Loop some validation.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was like, yes.
All
yes.
of the universes are connected.
Can we canonically call this a Pelé? Can this be like can this creature be like a Pelé?
That's what we're calling it now.
that
It's
was-
canon now.
Yeah.
That's canon
Yes.
now.
I love that. I'm gonna text from you.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, for coming out to watch our latest episode of Infinite Horizon. Do remember that this Friday, Ramblemancy will be hanging out with Alex Perkins, creating our worst pitches for TV and movies. It's gonna
it'll
be
awful.
wild. Oh, we're gonna create so much nightmare fuel. It's not even gonna be
It's gonna
funny.
be good.
It
Oh,
is gonna be
God.
funny, but also nightmare fuel. Let's see. This very episode will be available on VOD immediately after the broadcast. And will be available on YouTube on Friday. So if you missed any part of it or want to check it out, or any of you on VOD Squad just want to watch it again, that's how you can find it. It's also available on podcast. You can find it basically anywhere that anywhere podcasts are distributed, found, whatever. You can find it basically anywhere. Don't forget that next week we have part 2 of our brand new Water Deep Dragon Heist. I have to really think about it now. Thanks, Ray. Water Deep Dragon
Forever
Heist.
change.
Actual
No,
actual
Lucas, you're
play.
wrong. It's
Into
Dragon
Deep.
Deep Water Heist.
Drac,
What?
you
Wait.
shut your mouth.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
What?
no. Well,
For our
you
show, Deep to Win.
No, stop
our-
it. our brand new actual play, Into Deep, where you will be now
Into
able to catch
Horizon.
the.
What?
Deep water?
I will mute all of you. You will.
Isn't it
you'll be able to
Horizon
catch.
Heist Infinite
Oh,
Deep?
We already did our Infinite Horizon heist.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
Yeah.
you can catch that next Tuesday at 3:30 Pacific time. Other than that, oh wait, Drac, we have things
me.
coming up. We have things coming up that we are involved in. You and I are both involved in on Monday. Charity stream.
I'm doing so many things. I'm like,
I know,
what do I have on Monday? Yes, let me see if I can get that up. So one of my friends on Twitch, Scriv the Bard, they do teach RPGs and stuff like that as well. And they decided that, hey, we're going to do a month of raising money for some organizations, some mental health organizations. One called Mind, which I believe is a UK-based organization, and one called the National Alliance of Mental Illnesses, I think, or NAMI for short. And on Monday, well, for the week, next week, from Monday to Thursday, we're going to be doing some charity streams. The first one's going to be an Among Us stream. We're going to be playing Among Us for 2 hours. Luke is going to be there.
Mhm.
I'm going to be playing. It's going to be wild. Most of us have never played before, so it's going to be
Yeah.
a bunch of noobs trying to lie to each other, and that's going to be from I believe 3:30 with the fourth. I mean 3 o'clock to 5. I think. Let me check. I don't know why I did not prepare for this.
That's okay.
Um,
I also did not, which is why I made you do it. I think that sounds right to me, but that's Eastern, right?
Yes, 3 to 5 Eastern.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Over on Scriv the Bard channel. That's SCRIV the THE Bard BARD.
And if you're in the Discord, I'll definitely be posting links to when we go live to that, so you can find it pretty easily at the time as well. So yeah, Drac and I are both going to be there. John actually is also going to be part
John
of
as
that.
well.
So
Cool.
yeah. So
We've got a bunch of really cool people. We've got some Jasper from 3 Black Halflings. We've got B from everything.
Yes, yeah, correct. Yep.
Who else do we have? I think that might be everyone that is very super prominent in like the TTRPG community.
Yeah.
But we've got a bunch of awesome people, so it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to be bad at space for charity. Yeah. So that's you'll be able to catch us there. Anybody else have other things that they wanna talk about? Go into?
Yeah, I'll go last.
Okay.
I probably should. I'll go last because
Oh,
I
wait,
have
fair
a lot
enough.
of things.
Yeah, good point. Oh no,
Yeah.
I'll go first because it's very
Yeah.
short. New mic sounds. I hope it sounds
Yay!
good. It's super nice to have a mic, and also new computer.
Hell
Super awesome computer. Love it. It's making you guys look gorgeous.
Well, something has to.
And it ain't me. No.
Yeah.
I thought I had something else to say. Oh yeah, the northern lights are supposed to be visible
Ooh.
to us in the northern, up here in the northern part, between
Ooh.
10 p.m. Pacific.
Ooh.
I believe it's
Joy.
Pacific to
Hell-
1 in the morning. I
Hell
think
yeah.
that might be correct.
Give
Yeah.
us our space news on the space show.
Yes.
Good. That's
Or
awesome.
you can catch us here at Wednesdays 6 p.m. PST, where I'll have the Northern Lights behind me.
It's true.
All the time.
It's a little more consistent.
Right, yeah. It probably won't get as cold watching it too.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Caitlin, you said you have some stuff.
Dude, this light that just for some reason came on, it's making me really sweaty now. So, I'll be fast. If you want to see me play someone with different superpowers, you can catch me on Sundays at Q Times' channel for Power Play. This coming Sunday is our season finale.
Hell
which
yeah.
is very
Ooh.
exciting. And so we'll be back mid-January. I think the 17th, if that's a Sunday, something around there. We'll be back for season 2. But season finale this Sunday. Be there. It's gonna be fun. I'm very stressed out. 5 p.m. Pacific, I think.
Yes,
If any,
that sounds
literally-
correct.
If it's not 6 p.m. Pacific, I have no idea what time
Right,
it
yeah,
is
no.
ever. Anyways, that's what I got.
Cool. Who else?
Me
Yeah.
next? Is
Sure.
anyone else? Me? Okay. I have a lot of things. Let me just go through them real quick. So you can find me every other Thursday over on Screw the Bar channel, the channel I just mentioned, playing a D&D campaign at 6 p.m. Eastern. You can find me, I think it might, is it the season finale? No, next week will be this is the penultimate episode of our Burn Bright episode, Burn Bright campaign over on Chromatic Chimera, where I play 100,000 hive mind telepathic bugs. It's great. When next Wednesday is actually going to be the season finale for the iHunt campaign I'm in at 6 p.m. Eastern over on Encounter Roleplay, and obviously you can find me here again at 9 p.m. Eastern or 6 p.m. Pacific at Roll of Law. I just realized this, and I'm very sorry. I'm not trying to steal your whole shtick, Caitlin. But on Friday, I'm going to be playing a superhero two-shot from 7:30 Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern. And this is the part where I'm not trying to steal a shtick. My superpower is flames as well.
Yeah, no, I
That's
love
what-
it.
I literally just
wanna know
realized it
all
right
about
now.
it.
But yeah, you can
More
find us
superpowers.
over on Friends Who Roll Dice. We're going to be playtesting it was meant to be last week, but our GM didn't feel so great, so pushed it up a week. We're playtesting a RPG system that hasn't been out yet, so this might be other than the official podcast, this is the first time we're going to see it. Called
Oh,
Legends
cool.
Superhero Role Playing Game, and yeah, we've got some really fun people in there. We've got I'm gonna name people. I don't even know if you know them. Is
go for it.
Liv is gonna be in it. Liv's
Yeah.
gonna be playing as well. Jess, who's Burst of Hope.
Liv, who is also in Too Deep.
Yeah. Who else? Renee's gonna be GMing it. There's most likely other people. Please don't be watching this. My memory's awful. Am I remembering? Am I forgetting anyone else? I don't think so.
It's on your Twitter.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's everyone.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of people, and we're playing to raise money for the charity. I've mentioned it before. We're raising money for the Philippines because they've been hit by a ton of typhoons, and having to deal with that and the pandemic is ridiculous. Everyone else can barely just deal with the pandemic on its own. So like, I can't imagine how it must be over there. So we want to help. So yeah, that's everything that I can think of.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Cool. Yeah, just to add some just quick additional things. If you are subscribed to us here on Twitch, and you are also in the Discord, you do get access to some of our Patreon rewards. So definitely check that out. If you're subscribed here, definitely join up on the Discord, because you could be missing out on some really cool content. Of course,
Some good stuff in there.
yeah. We also have a merch store, which Freeman is conveniently modeling for us. We have Infinite Horizon t-shirts with art by the inimitable Caitlin Bruder.
You both.
Yeah.
I don't know why my pencil's in it. I apologize.
Yeah.
But
We also have mugs and various just sort of Rule of Lore merch as well. So you can get in there, and yeah, stickers as well, Infinite Horizon stickers, which I always forget about because they're the most recent addition. So yeah,
I love 'em.
go ahead and check those things out. I think we're gonna go. We're gonna turn this thing off so Caitlin can stop sweating under the light of her own creation. So
In your
I did
like,
this to myself,
Yeah.
apparently. On
yeah,
accident.
yeah.
gosh.
All right,
you're not
everybody.
cold-blooded.
Thank you once again
No,
for
that's
coming
Taeyeon.
and hanging out.
True.
We'll see you hopefully on Friday for Ramblemancy, but if not, we will see you the next time you decide to come roll with us. Good night and good zone, everybody.
Good night. Thanks for joining us.